It's Fantasy Football Wednesday. 3 full hours of fantasy football talk live from beautiful Las Vegas. If you haven't had a chance yet, please check out my NFL Week 6 picks video. It's fantastic. You don't want to miss out. All right. First things first. Somebody asked if they should trade Nico Collins. I said no. I thought the injury was going to be relatively minor. I didn't think it was a situation where he would be out for extended period of time, and now he's on IR for 4 weeks. So drop the ball there. Derek, what's up, brother? Man, we're starting off the show strong. Send Monty and Garrett Wilson for John Robinson and Devontae Smith PPR league. All right. All right, so here's your situation with this. Short answer is I like it. Is this a trade somebody sent you? Is this something that you're proposing? But let me give you the pros and cons here. And for those of you who don't know, I will go into detail, but I'll try to give a fast answer, and I'm going to do my best to get all questions answered. All right. Running back, I think you're winning this because Gibbs has been getting more touches than Montgomery for whatever reason. I think Montgomery, guy with Bajan is 5-0. Okay. Okay. I'm going to give you the pros and cons. First off, I do like this. And the reason why I like this is that Montgomery is splitting touches with Gibbs. Oh, really? Okay. And you have Gibbs. Yeah, Gibbs is getting more production. All right. And let's just go back and take a look at the Lions win against the Seattle Seahawks. If you go back and you look at this, hold on here, box score. Gibbs 14 carries, 78 yards, 2 touchdowns. Montgomery 12, 40, and 1. And Montgomery had that 40-yard reception. I thought Gibbs had more receptions. Gibbs apparently didn't have a reception. I'm almost positive they targeted him. All right, but okay. 13 versus 14. All right, 13 versus 14. I was positive he had a catch in here, but I guess I'm wrong. The Lions seem to use Gibbs more than they use Montgomery. I would do just the opposite if I was Detroit. But John Robinson is always going to get the carries, okay? But John Robinson's always going to get the carries. He's always going to get the touches. So you win that. Garrett Wilson and Devontae Smith. Now, Wilson's the number 1 guy. I firmly believe it's just a matter of time before Devontae Williams is a New York Jet. Just a matter of time. I didn't have a chance to check out if A.J. Brown's coming back or not, but Devontae Smith's always going to get touches, even with A.J. Brown. Plus, one thing that I like that they do in Philly is they're throwing the ball a little more with Garrett Wilson. Now, keep in mind, with the Jets, new coach, I have no idea if they're going to be more of a running team, rely less on Rodgers, rely more on Rodgers. I have no idea. But you're getting a sure thing with Devontae Smith. Now, Garrett Wilson last week, was it 13-101? I mean, it's highly unlikely you're going to get that type of production out of Devontae Smith ever. But you're winning the running back battle, and with Garrett Wilson, who knows what you're going to get. And then when Devontae Adams becomes a Jet, and I firmly believe it'll happen. So I see this as you just winning this flat out, because you're going to have a few weeks where Devontae Smith outproduces Garrett Wilson. I mean, that's just going to happen. I mean, especially if A.J. Brown can't stay healthy. So I like this move. And if you also have Gibbs, I'll be honest with you, having Montgomery and Gibbs is a little frustrating because you really don't know which one to play. It kind of looks like that they want Gibbs to have a little more touches. So I think you got the right guy. Full disclosure, I think the Lions should give Montgomery the ball more, but Derek, I would make this move. The only way I would recommend against it is that if John Robinson does not become one of your starting running backs, and I'll be floored if you have Montgomery and you have Gibbs, but John Robinson's going to be more productive than either one of them. So I would make this move, man. Let me know what happens. I would say yes to this trade. Hopefully you are better than 0-5, but if let's just say you're 0-5, or let's just say maybe you're 1-4. I don't know what your record is. We're going to get you turned around. So keep me informed what you have. Gibbs, Monty, A-Chain, Roshan. Yeah. So yeah, A-Chain had the injury. I should have checked before I came on, but you're 2-3. So yeah, this will help your team out tremendously because you need help in the running back room. You need help. Make this move, get John Robinson. He becomes your running back number one. I like it. Yeah, he becomes your running back number one. You also have Gibbs, and then keep an eye on the A-Chain situation. Roshan's a guy that I loved coming out of college. It was kind of funny because you're getting John Robinson backup running back at Texas, and he's pretty good, but he's just not getting a lot of touches right now. But you're going with John Robinson and Gibbs. That would give you a nice 1-2 punch. And hopefully we can get you a 3-3. The B and the Back Talk brothers, the great one, the talent, Gooch. Gooch, all questions are answered. Anything goes, brother. I know this is fantasy. Wait. First, the talent is here, baby. Now the Chiefs are the only team to offer the Raiders the second-round pick they wanted with recent happening to Adams, to Chiefs, or Cooper. I've been adamant that I think the Chiefs would offer the Raiders a second, and I think this would be a win-win for everybody. I don't know if you saw or not, the Raiders are going with AOC. Not a big fan of the acronym for Aiden O'Connell, but that's what they're calling him. So the Raiders are doing the quarterback flip-flop. This is just a sinking ship in Vegas. When you have two quarterbacks, you have none. They're going to try, whether it's free agency or the draft, to get a quarterback. This does have something to do with fantasy football because any Raiders skill position player, I think, is going to suffer. If you want to be on the flip side and say, "Oh, Aiden O'Connell's the boost that they need, the numbers are going to increase," and I don't buy that at all. This would have been a win-win for everybody. Chiefs get their receiver, that helps out. Probably not going to be here, long term. It's going to be a low second, but the Raiders really need to acquire as much draft capital as possible. Remember, they begged Washington. They wanted Jaden Daniels. I forgot Antonio Pierce coached him at college. But they were trying really hard to get Jaden Daniels, and they were unsuccessful. So this would have been a win-win. Now, I personally would have rather had Amari Cooper because I think he would have been cheaper. I think we can get him for less. I firmly believe he's going to the Raiders, and I firmly believe Adams will go to the Jets. Now, the problem is with Adams going to the Jets. Remember, the Jets gave up a second, which is, or it's a third that could be a second if it was 67.5% snaps on the field and 10 plus sacks for Hassan Reddick. That's not going to happen. I mean, even if he plays every single snap, I don't think you can get to 67.5, maybe. So they're already giving up a third. They don't want to give up a second, because what's the one thing you want to do when you're a new head coach? You want to bring in players. You want to bring in players through the draft, so you don't want to give up a second and a third. I think it makes perfect sense for the Chiefs and Raiders to make a trade. Some teams don't want to trade in the division. Some teams don't care. If I'm the Chiefs and Amari Cooper would want to come to Kansas City, that just fits like a hand in the glove, in my opinion. You can get him for less. You can get him for cheaper. And you know he's not really going to be the long-term solution. Now, I would love it if Amari Cooper played the next 4 to 5 years here and finished his career as a Kansas City Chief. I would be over the moon, but it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Devontae Adams, by the way, is out again. Raiders could not be handling this worse. I think that what you're going to see is, a trade being made soon. I think they'll move him to the Jets. Even though the Chiefs may give you more. I also think that Antonio Pierce will be fired at the end of the season. And should he be? Well, we'll find out. But the mismanage of the quarterback situation is terrible. So, man, Gooch, love to have you in here, man. If you want to, hey, listen, you want to talk Chiefs Raiders, man, I'm down. SJMP. Man, that's a cool name. Cool name. I like it. Was just offered a trade Jaden Daniels, ETN, Bucky Irvin for CJ Stroud, Kenneth Walker, and Jaleel McLaughlin. Who wins this trade standard format? I'm assuming that somebody is sending you Daniels, ETN, and Irving for CJ Stroud, Walker, and McLaughlin. Who wins this trade standard format? Okay, well let's break this down one for one here. Despite all the success Jaden Daniels had and everything, I still think CJ Stroud's a little better, a little more established. I like quarterbacks who don't run around as much. Put up some big numbers last week against Buffalo. And also one other thing I like is that look at the division he's in. You're playing the Colts, you're playing the Jaguars. Tennessee has a good defense. Going forward, Stroud, even without Nico Collins for the next 4 weeks, I think Stroud's solid. Walker and Etienne are interesting. You have two guys that are both a little banged up. You both have 3 down backs. Both have home run potential. I would say Kenneth Walker slightly, and McLaughlin and Irving's interesting because Irving eventually is going to take over. When I was trying to say, because I have a huge man crush on Rachaad White, I really wanted to believe that he was going to be the guy Irving's going to spell him. It's going to be the opposite. Irving's going to take over. McLaughlin, they really love in Denver. They love this kid. Now, keep in mind, Javonte Williams has infinitely more talent. And I'm a huge Javonte Williams fan, but they really like McLaughlin. So Irvin over McLaughlin, and Irving has more upside. I mean, yeah, I really think that he's the guy that eventually is going to be the guy. McLaughlin, you really don't know. Who wins the trade? I'm going to say Stroud, Walker, and McLaughlin. Walker, if he can stay healthy, both Walker and ETN, if they can stay healthy, are legit number ones. I think you win this because Walker's been a little more productive in ETN. Bigsby is getting more touches, and it looks like deservedly so. So, but I like Stroud over Daniels significantly. So I would say to Stroud, Walker, and McLaughlin wins this trade. That would be my opinion. Since you're calling a standard format, it's not a PPR. I think whether it's standard or PPR, the issue is with ETN and Irving comes down to how much more upside is Irving going to have. Is he going to take over and become a guy that's getting 20 carries a game? I don't know. And the same thing with McLaughlin. Now, McLaughlin, I don't think is ever going to be that 20 to 25 touch a game. Irving could be. But I'm going to tell you, Stroud, Walker, and McLaughlin, keep in mind with all the hype around Daniel, Stroud is outplaying him. So that's my opinion here. Let's see what your other comment was. Rest of my lineup is Brees, Ayuk, McLaurin, Tolbert, Kittle, Tampa kicker, Denver D. My bench is Alexander, Madison, Rashad White. Interesting. Devontae Adams, Kirk, assuming Kurt's Cousins, and Ertz. I'm the Jaden Daniels team. Okay, so you have Jaden Daniels, ETN, and Irving, and you want to trade for CJ Stroud, Walker, McLaughlin. I would definitely do that. I still think Brees is a number one running back. Ayuk up, McLaurin solid. Now, I understand that maybe you want to keep Jaden Daniels because Jaden Daniels and McLaurin, nice combo. Every time they get a touchdown, you win. I also like Kittle stays healthy as good as anybody. Ertz is another tight end, really, really productive. You probably didn't play Kirk Cousins on Thursday night. Oh no. The one thing I'll say that you have Jaden Daniels. Can I ask you this here? Can you leave off? Can you keep Bucky Irving, and he can keep McLaughlin? But I'll tell you what, though, you got some things I really like. The Denver Broncos defense is very, very solid. Tampa kicker is pretty solid. You're going to get points there. You play in the dome. You play down south. Good pickup. Kittle, as long as he's healthy, he's really, really good. I love Brees. Devontae Adams, if he becomes a Jet's going to be solid. And Kirk Cousins and Zach Ertz are really, really, really good players. Really, really, really good players. I'm going to level with you. I would make this move. Can you leave off Irving and McLaughlin and just go CJ Stroud and Kenneth Walker? By the way, Kirk Cousins, I 100% understand if you didn't start him, but hopefully you did with that 500. Depending on what your league is, I know a lot of leagues have bonuses for every 100 yards. But if you get Stroud, Walker, and McLaughlin, I think you win it a little bit. I would try to leave off McLaughlin and Irving because the one thing about Irving is that there is a chance he could take over. The one thing I do like is that you got Rashad White and Irving together. Did you already let me know? And I'm already behind on comments. Let me know. Did you already make this trade, or is this something that's being offered? Because if this is being offered, can you leave off Irving and McLaughlin, just go Stroud and Walker for Daniels and ETN? Let me know. If you already made this trade, congratulations. If you just acquired Stroud, Walker and McLaughlin. I think you win with Stroud. I really do. Daniels is the hot ticket, but I think you win with Stroud. Let me know. Let me know. Derek, I'm here to help, brother. Here to help. No, not doctor. If you think Ingram is going to play, I have Otten right now, so I don't know if I should drop him and pick up Otten. I got Kelsey on the bye right now, or maybe Strange. Don't pick up Strange. The reason why I say that is I think it's just kind of a fluke thing. I know he had a touchdown. Lots of athleticism, but I something about these Penn State tight ends, they test well and then they really don't produce. I don't think Strange is a guy that's going to have a lot of value in fantasy football going forward. I mean, the size speed combinations there, the athleticism's there. Something about these Penn State tight ends, they have all the physical attributes really just don't pan out. I do think, by the way, ESPN's never the best source, but let's just look here. I think he is going to play because he played just 1 or 2 snaps last week. I think it's very important that he gets back into the lineup. Evan Ingram per ESPN's questionable 2 days ago. Doug Peterson said Monday's optimistic Ingram will be cleared to play Sunday against the Bears in London. I think he is going to play. The London games, remember Jacksonville goes to London every year. I think there's a major advantage over the Bears and the Patriots. I think this is a chance that Jacksonville can start getting ramped up. I do think he's going to play. I do think he's going to play. You got some time. Since you have Otten right now, so I don't know if I should drop him and pick up Otten. Okay. So you have Otten right now, and you also have Kelsey. All right. Ingram, I'll be honest with you, Ingram's a better option than both. If you want to hold on because you're rolling the dice, I would not blame you. I think Otten's solid. Kelsey's solid. Ingram's a much better option than both. ESPN says that he thinks he's going to play. I think it's very important that he plays. Keep in mind, Bears and Patriots, even though they're winnable games, these are teams with really, really, really good defenses. And the offense has been struggling in Jacksonville, but I do think Ingram's going to play. And full disclosure, like Brian Thomas Jr. is upside galore. So, I mean, the one thing about Otten and Kelsey is I think they're more likely to have higher floors. But Ingram, remember last year Ingram was had what, like 108 catches? If you have to make a trade, I wouldn't do it. But if you can pick them up on your waiver wires, now keep in mind there's not a lot of fantasy leagues that I know of where you can keep 3 tight ends. So more than likely you have to drop Otten to pick up Ingram, my guess. I would do that. As far as Strange, I wouldn't recommend. If you can pick up Ingram, that would be fine. I do think he's going to play. If you want to be a little more conservative and go with Otten, I wouldn't blame you because I think Otten, keep in mind, it's going to be a tough matchup against the Saints. But one of the things about the Saints is that Willie Gay, I think, is going to be out. I didn't check that. But that was something the Chiefs took advantage of. So hopefully, I tag, man. I'm great. I'm glad to see you, man. Hopefully I answered your question for you, man. And good luck. Keep me informed of what you do. George Play 01. What's up, brother? Hey, man, should I pick up Juju? Who should I drop? Keon Coleman or Josh Downs? Okay. I would, if you do pick up Juju, I think it'd be smart. He's been wildly productive in Kansas City. I don't know if you saw my buddy Gooch. It was funny. Gooch said one of the biggest reasons the Chiefs go to Juju is because he's got a knee of a 65-year-old. That's always going to be an issue. If healthy, he is wildly productive in Kansas City. The best part is with somebody like Xavier Worthy taking the top off, you have to pay attention to Travis Kelce. Juju's the guy that's going to get a lot of production. As long as the Colts want to go with Anthony Richardson, I would not value Josh Downs at all. Now, Keon Coleman's interesting because Shakir, I know he got injured. I don't know if he's out or not. By the way, Keon Coleman didn't just light everything up, by the way. I mean, he he had that he had the one catch for 49 yards. He was targeted 5 times, but just had one catch. Now, Shakir is questionable. Let me go back here. Again, ESPN's not the best source, but Shakir won't practice Monday. The one thing I will tell you about the Colts, as long as Anthony Richardson's the starting quarterback, I would not recommend anybody. He's questionable. Limited participant in practice Wednesday. I'm gonna level with you. I do think Flacco is going to start against the Titans. I firmly believe that. They are going to try and push Richardson out there, so I don't like either one of these. Keon Coleman or Josh Downs, which one do you want to drop? This comes down to, what's your favorite flavor of ice cream, chocolate or strawberry. With Keon Coleman, you have some upside, but he's not really done much. That play on ESPN happened over and over again. You saw it over and over again. You're like, oh wow, but he targeted 5 times. That was his only catch. Josh Downs, if they go with Flacco, you want to keep Downs. Not giving you a great answer, I know. I'm not giving you a great answer, I know. I really know this, and I feel really bad, but I'll be honest, I think Juju's better than both. I really do. You may want to drop Downs, but full disclosure, when Flacco's the quarterback there, Downs is going to see a lot of action. I even though it says he's a participant in practice, I have no idea. Oblique injuries are really strange. The owner of the Colts is trying to force him to play. It's a complete mistake. So I mean I can make an argument for both guys you should drop, man. I'm really sorry. If you had to say which one should you keep, I will say this: Josh Downs has massive more upside as long as you can get Flacco in there. So I would drop Coleman. I would pick up Juju. Juju's going to be more productive than both. So George Play, I hope even though I ranted for a while, hopefully I got your question. What's your opinion on A-Chain? I got him, but I'm not sure on him. That guy, welcome, brother. I don't recognize you, so man. Welcome, man. I apologize. It took me so long to get your question. I will answer all questions. It's just going to take a while. What's your opinion on A-Chain? I got him, but I'm not sure on him. Should I trade him and Tank Dell for James Cook and Devontae Adams, or just a better running back? I have Diggs already. Interesting trade possibility. Now, let me ask you this here. Did you get this trade offer, A-Chain and Dell for Cook and Adams? And you already have Diggs, right? So here's the drill. I think A-Chain is I love watching them run. They're phasing him out. Not only is he not, they're phasing him out. Not only is he not, what was it? Was it a head injury, if I remember correctly? Mozart's coming back, so he's being phased out. But they really like this Jalen Wright kid. The one issue with Jalen Wright was that he was a little fumble prone. He hasn't had that issue. He's explosive. He's fast. But the biggest difference is A-Chain's like 190 pounds. Wright's like 215, 220. Wright's like an Alvin Kamara type player. He really is. It's just the biggest issue was that he wasn't used. He dropped the ball a lot when he was at Tennessee. But size speed combo, very similar to Alvin Kamara. So if you can get rid of A-Chain and you can trade for James Cook, who I think is a number one, you want to make the move. Here's the problem is that you make this move, you have no idea when Davante Adams is going to play. But whenever he does play, he's going to be wildly productive. I think Diggs will be more productive than Dell over the next couple of weeks. So keep in mind, if that guy, did you, by the way, did you get this trade offer, or is this something that, is this on the books, or is this something that, you're throwing out there? Because if somebody offered you Cook and Adams for A-Chain and Dell, if you can absorb losing, Adams for 1 or 2 weeks, maybe longer, I would 100% do it, because Cook is a running back number one. A-Chain's a guy that is going to be phased out. Keep in mind, when I say phased out, he's still going to be used. It's just that he's not going to be used as much. Plus, I know the injury status. I don't know. I have no idea. We'll look at it right now. But even if he is healthy, I'm kind of thinking that they're going to phase him out. A-Chain's questionable. Won't return to Sunday's game. Patriots returning concussion. So Mozart's healthy, Wright's healthy. He may not even play. This is a situation that it looks like you're selling high, so I would make this move. And let me know what you do. I apologize for how long it took, but yeah, I'll make some move. Evan Gittleman, what's up, brother, man? Thanks for the question here, man. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Would you trade Najee and Wendell for Scary Terry? I like the name. I have Jaden says stack would be great. You're all right. Running back, I have Brees, Pollard, Najee, Madison, Chubb. Wide receivers are DK, Devontae, J-Mo, Wicks, and Wandale. Okay, so you want to trade Najee Harris and Wandale for Scary Terry. I would advise against it. But you have some interesting options. So Madison's going to get a little uptick. Raiders are a disaster. Okay, so banking on Madison, I wouldn't do it. I'm kind of against this, and I'll tell you why. With Brees, Pollard, and Najee, I think you got 3 really good running backs. If you tell me Chubb's going to come back and be the Nick Chubb of old, I would do this. You don't have that guarantee. Wandale is being used more and more. Who's the number 2 receiver in Washington? Remember they traded Dotson to Philly. So, I mean, I get why you want to do it, because you're like, man, I need another guy. I got Davante Adams. But here's the deal. You got some solid options here at number 2. I mean, DK is going to be your 1. But, I mean, in the past, he's been wildly inconsistent. And in this new offense, though, he's been a lot more consistent. I think things are working out for him in Seattle. And then Davante Adams, as soon as he's traded, you have a chance to have 2 legitimate number 1s. I get why you want to do this. I would really recommend against it. And the reason why is that you have a guy in Robinson you're probably not using that somebody wants. I get that. But Najee Harris is a 3-down back that the Steelers are using more and more. ignore the quarterback situation. Najee's always going to get about 20 touches. So I would recommend against that. And keep in mind, the one thing about Scary Terry is I love the Jaden Daniels Terry stack. I get that. I know you want to do it. I mean, I'm looking at your other receivers, and I'm not sure he's not above Adams whenever Adams gets traded. But I mean, I get that maybe he's above Smith, JMO, Wicks, and Wendell. My issue is that you're giving up a guy that because I'm looking at your lineup right now. Najee Harris should be either your running back number 2 or your flex. If you, I will say this, man, and I can't answer this because I love Nick Chubb, and I have to kind of, because like I don't want to, I don't want to keep ranting because I'm a huge Nick Chubb fan. If you believe that Nick Chubb's going to come back and be the guy, then yeah, make the move. That's your only caveat. But I don't like giving up good 3-down running backs in an offense that's going to use your running backs. I don't like that. I do like getting rid of Wendell because he's a guy that you would be selling high. So you would be rolling the dice here. Just full disclosure, if you're 5-0 or 4-1, I would make this move. I'm more likely to make this move. If you're like 1-4 and you're kind of like trying to go into a panic move, or you're 2-3, don't do this, because Najee Harris is a guy that's going to be wildly productive. So hopefully I answered your question. Sorry about the rant. So Austin, what's up, brother? Should I start CJ Stroud or Dak Prescott? I would go with Dak, and the reason why is that the Lions defense, they are off of a bye, but the secondary's really struggled. Dallas at home it's kind of funny because Dallas traditionally plays really well at home, bad on the road. Just the opposite this year. They're undefeated on the road, winless at home. But Dak Prescott at home traditionally really, really, really good. Nico Collins is out. You're going against a really underrated but very good New England defense with Dak Prescott. Jacob Sens, what's up, brother? Thoughts on Juju as a league winner? Looks like the offensive schematic is leaning towards him as a volume guy. Okay, league winner, no. Did he have a big week? Yeah. Look, go back to his last year in Kansas City. It was 79 receptions, 933 yards. I think it was 8 touchdowns. Maybe it was 5. I don't know the exact numbers. I'm just spitballing on memory. League winner, no. A very solid number 2 flex, low end 1. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, in the way the Chiefs have this offense set up is that he's going to take over for Rice, but he's not going to be the same guy. One thing about Juju in Kansas City is he'd have these games and he'd come back with like a 5-catch, 60-yard performance. One of the things the Chiefs are doing is that they're going to utilize a lot of 2-3 tight end sets a little more. They have a guy named Sky Moore, who you probably don't know of, who's just been a disaster. He was a second-round pick that they thought would be just like Rashid Rice, hasn't panned out. Miracle Hardman, they brought him back, another second-round pick, didn't really pan out like they liked. They're going to use him a little bit at times. Is Juju going to do this again during the course of the year? Yeah. Is he going to do this week to week? No. But you're right, because the way it works is that you have Worthy as a deep threat. You have Kelsey, who's always going to attract a lot of attention. And Juju's the guy that's going to take some touches away. Now, there's going to be some games and some teams that are going to say, we're going to take away Juju and we're going to let 35-year-old Kelsey beat us. Sure. Noah Gray's going to get some touches. League winner? No. A guy that you should pick up? Absolutely. Absolutely. Great question, Jacob Sens, man. I hope to hear more from you, brother. If you haven't already, hit that that subscribe button. Christian Kirk. I'm sorry, man. So the one thing that's interesting about Christian Kirk, hold on here. Let me go back here. Okay, Christian Kirk. So the thing is with Christian Kirk is that I was thinking he would be like the number one guy. He's really not. He's now the number two guy. Brian Thomas Jr. is really taken over. But let me ask you this here. Did you already pull the trigger on this trade? Or are you thinking about it? Is this something you're offering? Because I would love it. I would love it if you did it. But keep in mind, you may kick yourself if Irving really takes off. I'm a TIGG salute. Just I'm not gonna say it. Sisu, my German brother, what's up? Smiling. Okay, yeah. I recommended somebody not to do it. So Bucky Irving for Tank Dell, I would make this move. I would make this move, and the reason why I would make this move is that the offense looks significantly better with Irving. Keep in mind, with Tank Dell over the next 4 weeks, he has a chance to be the number one guy. I think it's going to be Diggs. I also think you'll see an uptick with Schultz, maybe leaning on the running game. I didn't even check, see if Mixon's going to play. But Bucky Irving is a guy that the offense looks better. I have a huge man crush on Rachaad White, so I hate the fact that I'm saying no to stay away from, but you may have to. So, but yeah, make this move. Bucky Irving's a guy that's going to be a low end to flex, has all the potential to be a number one. A low end running back number one. I'm not joking. There's a chance he may take over as a starting. Look, you have a defensive minded coach in Todd Bowles. You have a bigger running back in Rachaad White who's been there for a while and he's been pretty productive, but the offense looks much more explosive with Irving in it. It just looks different. So I saw this comment here. I want to get you to win. If I don't get everything answered, if you drop a comment, you can go old school, email me, Dan Andrews Jr. I'm sorry, it's dantalksfootball@yahoo.com. Email me, DM me, put a comment in here. I'll go ahead and I'll get all your questions answered because I want to help you win, especially if you're going against an undefeated guy. Yeah, he's questionable. Jonathan Taylor. Okay, so I'll be honest with you. I didn't know Jonathan Taylor was ruled out already. I thought he was questionable. Okay, so he won't practice today. Bank on him being out. Okay, I get it. But by the way, keep an eye out because if Jonathan Taylor's healthy, you want to play him banged up or not, okay? Would I drop Juju and pick up Chase Brown? I've been adamant that I like Zach Moss better, but Chase Brown gives you legit home run speed. Cincinnati has to get a win. So keep in mind that Giants defense is no joke. Would I recommend dropping Juju? God, because he's not playing this week because of a bye. You drop him, you lose him. Okay. Chase Brown is available, or is he a trade option? I want to try to sound insulting here. I'd be floored if Chase Brown was just available. But if he's on the waiver wire list, I almost think you have to get him. That's a tough one, man. That's a tough one. Depending on your lineup, Trying to see here if you put your lineup in here. No, I don't have it. So here's the drill. I would really hate for you to drop Robinson or Taylor. If you drop Juju, you're going to lose them. All right. You want to pick up Chase Brown. It makes sense. He's a waiver wire pickup in your league. That's really surprising. Is there anyone else that you can drop so you can pick up Chase Brown? Okay. Here's the drill. You don't really want to lose Junior or Taylor. If you have to lose one of them, lose Brian Robinson Jr. The reason why is they also got Eckler. Jaden Daniels has been running the ball a lot, which I don't recommend. They may just want to get really cute and just line up, just do a lot of short throws, overload Daniels for 1 week. Here's the deal. Brian Robinson Jr., I firmly think that Brian Robinson Jr., remember, he was going to be out and he ended up playing. I know he didn't practice. I think he'll play. All right. If you have to deal with Junior or Taylor, you want to play Taylor. I mean, Taylor's going to be a volume guy. Brian Robinson Jr., let's just say he was healthy, he's going to get fewer touches than Taylor when they come in. Chase Brown's still an up and down guy. They're using him more. He's been more productive. As a waiver wire pickup, I'm floored he's in your league, but you have some tough decisions to make here. Do I think it's a good idea to drop Juju? I mean, if you have a bunch of receivers, you can, but keep in mind, if you drop him, you're going to lose him. I'm just saying. So I don't know if I answered your question or not. By the way, you can always message me later on in the week. Keep an eye out on the injury situation. I'll be honest, if Brian Thomas Jr. plays and you do pick up Chase Brown, it's a coin flip to which one you want to start. But I will say this about Chase Brown. He plays on Sunday night, and I love playing guys later in the week. That's a Dan thing. I love playing guys later in the week, and Chase Brown gets to play on Sunday night. I don't know if you have anybody playing on Monday night, so hopefully I answered your question. Different offer, same guy. Okay. By the way, you're Derek. This is a really good situation that you're in because the guy is 0-5, so he's desperate. So what you want to do in a situation like this, and I recommend this all the time, take advantage of trades. All right, maximize your trade options here. So what you want to do is a guy that's 0-5 and he's sending you multiple trades, do a little negotiation, win this trade. I can't emphasize this enough. So send Monty and Deontay Johnson for Bijan, PPR, my running backs, Gibbs, Monty, A-Chain, Rashawn. God, I would really not want you to do that. I would really not want you to do that, even though I wouldn't hate that move. I mean, I don't want you to do that. And the reason why is I want you to keep Deontay Johnson because I think over time Xavier Leggette's going to be the one. Right now it's Deontay Johnson. Keep in mind they're at home. Atlanta has a wonderful secondary, I love, but I really don't want you to make that move. I would really think that if you could move A-Chain, do that. Look, this guy wants to make a move, and I understand you don't want to get rid of what was the previous trade, Wilson, but he wants to get rid of Bijan. Okay. I mean, this is going to sound kind of like a jerk move, but okay, he's not going to take Shakir because he's out. I know you don't want to get rid of Reed, but I'll be honest with you. I'd rather move Higgins than Deontay Johnson, even though Higgins had a great game. I would not. So I'll be honest with you. I would rather move A Chain than I can see if there's a deal. He wants a receiver. That's the issue. He wants Montgomery, and he wants a receiver. He's probably not going to take Shakir. You can float Shakir or Higgins. I'll be honest with you. I'd rather have Higgins, but is there any? I'll be honest with you. I mean, the Monty and A Chain for Bijan, wasn't that the previous one? I apologize, but you're in a situation where the guy's going to make some moves. I want you to get Bijan Robinson because that's a win. Plus, you're going against Carolina, a bad defense. I want you to get Bijan Robinson. Montgomery may have a good game against Dallas, and that's kind of what he's thinking. I don't want you to move Deontay Johnson. I would really see if you can get Shakir or Higgins instead. Probably won't do Shakir because Shakir's not going to play. What was the previous trade? So you could do that, but you get Devontae Smith back, or you can go ahead and you can do a 2-for-1. I would do that first trade, but I would rather do that first trade. Get make it a 2-for-2. But the guy's trying to move Bijan Robinson. If you really, to tell you the truth, I would almost do what about okay, so the first trade I think would be better, but since the guy's trying to move on from John Robinson, I would see if I could ship off either A Chain or Shakir. Probably won't do Shakir because he's not going to play. If you wanted to make this move, you could, but I would see if he would go Higgins instead. That's just my opinion. Breece Hall for Tyreek Hill. I'm assuming you have Breece Hall. If that's the case, I would not move on from Breece Hall. Now, keep in mind, you have no idea what to expect from the Jets, but I don't like giving up a 3-down running back for a receiver who hasn't been productive. Keep in mind, if you're loaded at the running back position and you have a winning record, I would make this move, but for the most part, I wouldn't do it. I don't like giving up a 3-down running back for you have a backup quarterback. Things are kind of looking bad in Miami right now, to be honest with you. I don't think Tua's coming back for a couple of weeks. Now, if Tua comes back, you're going to hate yourself for not doing this. But, yeah. There's very few situations, but this is okay. Hold on. So you're 4-1, no PPR, 12 team league. Should I start Diggs to Christian Gonzalez covering him? Yes, you still want to start Diggs. If you're 4-1 and it's not a PPR league, then don't do this at all, because the way they've been using Tyreek Hill is using him more in the backfield, and more than likely, I think he'll be like a guy who gets like 7-8 receptions, will be like 60-70 yards for right now. So I wouldn't do this. if I was you, if you're in a non-PPR league, I would still start Diggs because I don't think Gonzalez is going to lock up with him the whole game. I really don't think so. I think that he'll switch off and cover Dell part of the time. Could even cover Schultz. So don't worry about that. Is it a matchup you don't want? Yeah, you don't want Diggs against Gonzalez all the time. By the way, smart of you thinking that, but I do think Tank Dell, like he'll cover Tank Dell part of the time. I even think that they'll put him on Schultz part of the time. So I would still recommend starting Diggs. So non-PPR league, keep Hall. I know the production's been down. Keep in mind, you have no idea what's going to happen going forward. My guess is that they threw the ball 54 times last week. He was fired. I think that there'll be more of a running team. You're banking on some things. So, Dave, what's up, brother? What's cooking? How's my lineup looking? Kyler Murray, Pickens, Mooney, John Robinson, Jacobs, Taylor Kraft, the tight end for the Packers. Wendell at the flex. Audrey, Chargers defense. I'm drawing a blank on Audrey. Cowboys kicker. Chargers defense, low-key, very smart play. You're coming off of a bye. Rookie quarterback in Denver who's playing well, but I really like that matchup. I also really – Kyler Murray's a real – up and down thing, but I do like him in Green Bay. Should I think he'll have a decent game. Pickens, another guy up and down. I like both Mooney and Robinson against Carolina. I don't know if they fixed everything in Atlanta or what, but I like both of those here. I think you're in really good shape. I like a couple Packers against a Cardinals defense that only plays well against NFC West opponents. I think you'll be in good shape. I apologize how long this took. Drop Bot and then pick up Ingram. I do think Ingram on the play. You are rolling the dice a little bit. By doing this because you're giving up for sure points for kind of a home run. You are also going against an undefeated guy. I get that you want to kind of ramp up because you want to put yourself in a situation where you need to put up some points. I get that. I do think Ingram's going to play. Keep in mind the Bears defense is really brutal. You're rolling the dice here because I'm going to be honest with you. I kind of like Otten against the Saints defense. I know I'm going back and forth here. I know you got Kelsey on a bye here. You're going with some massive upside with Ingram. I mean, I can't emphasize that enough. You're going with massive upside with Ingram. But Otten's more likely to get you those consistent points. You're going against an undefeated opponent. If I remember right, you're 2-3, so I get it. So, guys, listen, I'm going to take a very fast commercial break, but I'm going to answer all questions. I'm going to do my best to get caught up and speed things up a little bit. I'm going to answer any and all questions. I'm going to take a very fast commercial break. When I come back, I'll come back with hour 2 of Afternoon Delight. Stay tuned. Check out my NFL Week 6 picks video. Drop your picks in the comments, and if you pick more winners than I do, Keaton from Keaton Talk Sports, our special Monday guest, will pay you $1 million. Okay, that isn't true, but post your picks for your favorite team or for all of week 6. As Afternoon Delight is on a commercial break, we want to remind you that BetUS is a proud affiliate of Dan Talks Football. I made my first $100 deposit and it was fast and easy, but check it out for yourself. The video I made showing my first $100 deposit is in the description below. It's fast, easy, and simple, but judge for yourself how easy it is. Link is in the description below. All right, yes! Back for hour 2 of Afternoon Delight. I apologize for being behind on the comments. I'm going to answer any and all questions, but if I don't answer your question or give you enough detail, feel free to DM me either on Instagram or Twitter X, whichever one it is. Links are in the description below. You can go old school and email me at dantalksfootball@yahoo.com. If you drop a comment into the video after the video is over with, I will also get back to you. I'll get back to you tonight. It may be in the morning, depending on what part of the country or world that you're in. So, likely Williams, Adams, Cooper Kupp, Addison on bye. East TM on IR. Any moves I should make? Well, I mean, hold on here. I'm sorry. So you have Pickens. So you're wondering. The only thing I would tell you is, I do like Likely, but I think that you're better off with Kraft. You are going against a tough Raiders defense. You could Jameson Williams might be an interesting one. To start over Pickens or Mooney. I'll be honest with you. I would stay as is. I really would. Keep in mind that Jameson Williams, that could be a guy that you're kicking yourself down the line. I would, I think most people would tell you go with Jameson Williams over Wendell Robinson at the flex, and that's kind of your that might be the move I do. I think you have more upside with Jameson Williams at the flex and Wendell Robinson. The only thing is, though, I think Dallas's defense is going to start getting better. By the way, full disclosure, if you check out my video, I did predict I think that Dallas and Detroit, I think it's going to be a shootout. I really do. I think there's going to be a lot of scoring. Cincinnati's defense has really struggled. Really struggled. Another thing is that I can't really believe I'm saying this, but Daniel Jones has been playing a lot better. He's been pretty decent. You're at home. It's a Sunday night game. I wouldn't blame you for going Wendell Robinson. You might want to consider Jameson Williams instead. That's the only thing. I'll be honest with you. I like guys playing later, especially on prime time, especially against a bad defense, which it's hard to believe because I'm a big Lou Anarumo fan, but I would keep the lineup as is. If you get you say, hey Dan, I'm going to go Jameson Williams, who has a lot more upside than Robinson, a lot more upside. I wouldn't blame you one bit, especially if Neighbors does play. If Neighbors does play, I can see a situation. Well, by the way, like you're not getting shut out with Wendell Robinson. The thing is with Jameson Williams is you really don't know what kind of production you'll get. I mean, you could get 100 yards and a touchdown. You could get one target and nothing. I think with Robinson, at the very least, you're going to get not the John Robinson, Wendell Robinson. I do think you'll get a little production. So, yeah, I would keep Fields on the bench. Jalen, I would go Joe Burrow. I really would. Even though I've been raving about the Giants' defense, Cleveland's defense is no joke. Now, Joe Hurts is fresh off of a bye, but the way I see this game going is I really think that Burrow is going to throw the ball a lot more than Hurts. I think that with Cleveland just looking like they're falling apart, I think we could see a lot of Saquon Barkley. I really don't think we're going to see Hurts go back and throw the ball, 40, 50 times in this game. If we do, I'd be really surprised. But let's just say it does happen. Which quarterback's going to be more productive that he throws the ball 50 times a game, Hurts or Burrow? It's going to be Burrow. Another thing, primetime game. Philly could lay an egg and not really bother them, to be honest with you. I know 2-3, especially if Washington wins, which, they have a tough matchup against Baltimore. It's another story, but Cincinnati is what, 1-4, right? I mean, Cincinnati's 1-4. They're in a must-win situation. I mean, I've been adamant. I don't think Baltimore's defense is the same that it's been, and yeah. So I would go with Burrow. I really would go with Burrow. I think that it's much more likely out of these two games, Philly versus Cleveland, Cincinnati versus New York. It's much more likely Philly's going to blow Cleveland out and just kind of rely on the running game. Try not to get Hurts hurt. Cincinnati, even if Cincinnati gets up in this game, you're still going to see Burrow throw the ball. So go with Burrow. Definitely go with Burrow. I mean, hey, I know you're in a situation you need to win this week, so I'm going to help you out. Yeah, Mike, he does me too. I mean, you have the concussion, but as far as a fantasy football owner, I mean, you have Mozart coming back, who's going to be the number one guy, and they really like this Wright kid. For those of you that don't know, like, they traded up, they gave up a third-round pick in next year's draft to draft Wright in the fourth round. I was like, why are you doing that? You already got the same player in A-Chain. But the thing is, Wright's bigger. His biggest issue was that in college, he put the ball down on the ground. He's not doing that. But he's a bigger dude, very explosive, and I think they really like him. I think they really like him. So if you have A-Chain, I kind of would I wouldn't be counting on him. I tried to move on from him if you can. Yeah, it's going to be a wide receiver by committee. Juju's the guy this week, but he's going to be productive. I just, whatever it was that he had, I know it was over 100 yards and touchdown. Don't bank on that every week. Another Chiefs fan, I hope, in the chat. Need more Chiefs fans. If you're not aware, Mike, I've been a diehard Chiefs fan for a very, very, very long time. My family's had Chiefs season tickets since '89. Me and my dad stopped going in 2020, and then this year I moved out to Vegas. But even though I'm wearing like some looks like a silver, Raiders colors here, trust me, I'm a diehard Chiefs fan. Jacobson, starting running backs, Hall and Jacobs, nice. Wide receivers, Neighbor and Harrison Jr., also nice. Keep an eye out. Neighbors needs to play. Quarterback is Geno. Needs to score around 130 to win this week. Should I flex JSN or Chase Brown, or even Pitt Jr. if Flacco starts? Oh, that's a good one. God, that's a good one. Okay, because you have JSN. World of potential. You also get the double dip. Geno, JSN, double dip. Chase Brown, I also like, must win in New York. I also love the primetime game. If Flacco starts, Tennessee has tough defense. Let's be honest. Tennessee has tough defense. They were using Donde Mitchell a little more. He's a guy that's got a world of talent, by the way. It's just a matter of time before he kind of breaks out. But you also have Josh Downs, you have Alex Pierce. You're good on running backs, and also like the fact you get Hall Monday night. Ideally, you don't have to worry about it because Jacobs puts up enough points. Neighbor plays on Sunday night; he puts up a lot of points. Harrison Jr. Interesting matchup in Green Bay. Ideally, Jacobs and Harrison Jr. puts up, a couple touchdowns each, so you don't have to worry about anything. In a situation where, by the way, I just judging from just Hall, Jacobs, Neighbor, Harrison, Geno, depending on your scoring, there's a very good chance that you're going to get 130 just with those guys. I think Jacobs and Neighbors could put up some points if Neighbors plays. I mean, Cincinnati's defense is really banged up right now, so I think Neighbors is pretty solid. If he plays primetime game, I kind of think, I think you may be in good shape. Jacobs and Harrison Jr. could put up some big numbers. You may be putting yourself in a situation. I forgot Geno plays on Thursday, so you have the Thursday night game and the Monday night game, kind of fun. I always recommend who's going to get the most touches. And that's probably going to be Chase Brown. You can use him in the receiving game. You can use him in the running game. I like Zach Moss a lot better. You got to win this game. He's a home run threat. He'd be a much better option to kind of flex out and use as a slot receiver. So I would go Chase Brown. Keep in mind, if Flacco does start, Pittman's very solid. You have a tough defense in Tennessee, and you also have multiple weapons. But Jonathan Taylor down, which it looks like. If Flacco starts and Jonathan Taylor doesn't play, I would not blame you if you decided you want to go Pittman. I mean, you have some really good options there too with JSN and Geno. You get the double dip. So I would go Chase Brown though. Out of those three guys, he's going to get the most touches. He has home run speed. You're in a must-win game. Now, if the game works out where, they get a couple touchdowns early, Jamar Chase breaks coverage and, it's like 21-10 early, or I'm sorry, like 21-7 going into the third quarter, maybe you'll see a lot more Zach Moss and Chase Brown. That would be the only downfall, but I like the guy who's going to get the most touches, and that's probably Chase Brown. Austin Arbuckle, AA. Nice, man. I don't recognize the name, so it's a very cool name. So make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Here to help, and I do apologize how long it took. So I'm starting running backs, Gibbs and Hall. Okay. Wide receiver, Drake, London, and Wilson. Potential studs. DeAndre Swift is your flex. Nice. Should I start A.J. Brown if he's back? And should I start Allen or Burrow? Okay. First off, kudos for getting Josh Allen and Joe Burrow. Wow. I would definitely go Burrow this week. Okay. I would go Burrow this week. This is a weird trend. When NFL coaches get fired, the new coach usually wins that first week. I normally love playing guys on Monday. The matchup against the Jets, I would really think that you're better off with Burrow. Personal opinion. By the way, if you say, hey, look, I'm going to go with Josh Allen anyway, I wouldn't blame you, but I would go with Burrow. Should you start A.J. Brown if he's back? That's a tough one because he's the best one when he's healthy. Here's the issue. You're going against Cleveland, a good defense, but a team that's just an absolute dumpster. I mean, it's just everything in Cleveland's just a disaster right now. But you do have a good defense. I would not recommend starting A.J. Brown this week, even though next week I think he's easily your number one receiver. I mean, let's be honest. Now, London's been up and down. Great game on Thursday. Good matchup against a bad defense. Now, is there a possibility they're going to have J.C. Horn just follow him around the whole game? Sure. That you have to deal with that. But you have a potential if he plays anything close like he did again against a bad defense, you got to take it. And Garrett Wilson, what was it, like 20 targets, 13 catches? Yeah. Don't start A.J. Brown this week. I seriously, I mean, you have a good defense that's just struggling on offense or playing on the road. I really think Philly wins this game going away, and I think that they're going to lean John and blank on the offensive coordinator's name. Boise State quarterback, Cowboys. Kellen Moore, sorry. Kellen Moore likes to throw the ball around. I really see a situation where they get up and just want to run the ball. So don't do A.J. Brown this week. I would go and I would start Burrow. I definitely would start Burrow. Full disclosure, check out my NFL picks video. I'm going to ruin it for you. I have Jacksonville over the Bears. Jacksonville goes to London every year. They have experience. Their defense is bad. DeAndre Swift could have a monster game. DeAndre Swift could have a monster game. So, ideally, if you go with Burrow, you don't even have to worry about Breece Hall Monday night. So, Rhinos Roundtable, what's crack-a-lackin' nerds? Man, I hope you're not mad about me trashing Anthony Richardson. I mean, as soon as they make Flacco the starter, fancy football options are going to be, way up. But, yeah, Rhinos Roundtable, good to see you. Always need more Colts fans. This is such a good lineup. Burrow, Amon-Ra, nice and nice. Reed, potential massive upside. Brian Robinson Jr. banged up. Keep an eye out on him. Alvin Kamara, nice. Otten, David Montgomery, also nice. Tyler Bass, Broncos D. Be careful about the Broncos D. Chargers fresh off of a bye. But this is a good lineup. Yeah, Kelsey on a bye. Let me see here. I'm drawing a blank on the numbers here. Okay, Trey Tucker's not doing anything. Wendell Robinson might be an interesting start. I wouldn't blame you. Yeah, you can. By the way, Jalen Reed. The one thing about Jalen Reed is that he's one of those guys that. Thing is with Jalen Reed, he's one of those guys that have a bunch of weeks where he doesn't do anything, and then he has weeks where he's wildly productive. I kind of would roll the dice with him for right now, so I like the move. Plus, with Arizona, the defense really only plays well against NFC West opponents. So you could have a monster game. Through to Juju for Chase Brown. Yes, he is available to pick up. God, yeah, I mean, I would be honest with you. In this situation, I might drop Trey Tucker instead. Keep in mind you have to understand with Aiden O'Connell entering as starting quarterback, maybe things will be on an uptick. Adams isn't going to play, but I would rather have Juju Smith-Schuster than Trey Tucker personally. Now, since you haven't picked him up, it's like you can pick up Juju or you can pick up Chase Brown. Yeah, I get it. I would if you have the ability, I would drop Trey Tucker, pick up Chase Brown. Yeah, I don't want you to drop anybody else though. So, yeah, you might. Yeah, drop Trey Tucker, pick up Chase Brown. And I know what you're talking about. I'm going back and forth on the Otten for Evan Ingram. I mean, you have to understand with Otten, I mean, you're going to get some steady production. With Ingram, you can get massive production. So I'm kind of going back and forth on that. I'm kind of leaning towards just going with Otten, taking the sure thing. And then, yeah, pick up Chase. I would drop Trey Tucker right now. I wouldn't even think about it. I would just get rid of Tucker and then pick up Chase Brown. And if you can pick up Juju later on, do that. So, Denver Gator! I'm here for Div 3 women's lacrosse semifinals. I think state wins by at least 2 scores. This is why I love Denver Gator. God, I'm so sorry it took me so long to get your comments, Denver Gator. I think Will Levis could not win there. No offense. Do not insult Will Levis in front of Denver Gator. You know the drill, guys. Sub to the channel, thumbs up because there's more people in the chat than likes. Share to other owners. Dan just give you numbers like others gives you to watch. Man, I appreciate that because I know a lot of guys. I do get some complaints about my rants. So Will Levis is my nemesis. Denver Gator puts mayonnaise in his coffee just like Will Levis does. That's how much Denver Gator loves Will Levis. By the way, it's the most disgusting thing ever. Man, Derek, thanks, brother. He's out on A-Chain because Dolphins on a bye need to win this week on the counter with Monty and Higgins for Devontae and see what he says. Yeah, I actually love that move. I actually think that. Sorry, I had a pitcher fall. I love that move. That's a fantastic move. You may win on both. See if he goes for that. And the reason why he may go for it is, Higgins on Sunday night against the Giants in a must-win situation. By the way, Higgins had a good game, but I mean they're kind of phasing him out, so that's a good move. That's a real good move. Get Bijan Robinson. That I would love that. Oh, sorry. Friendly Lace 06. I apologize for dropping that. Drop Madison for I wouldn't do it for and Chandler. I'm drawing a blank. Chandler. I was just looking at him. The Vikings running back who what did he do last week? 14 carries, 30 yards. Yeah. All right, so the Raiders are switching quarterbacks, and that's probably why you want to do that. And it's just a disaster. What did Madison do last week? He didn't do well. Listen, I would not recommend it, and I'll tell you why. Denver's defense is really good. They're using Madison a little more, but I mean, I'll be honest with you. You're not going to win with either one of these guys. Out of these guys, Madison's the guy who's going to get you the most touches. I know Chandler got you some touches. I know with Aaron Jones being out for a couple weeks that you're thinking, hey, he'll get some more touches. But what was the other guy that I was trying to think of? I think Miles Gaskin's going to get some touches. I know he didn't get many. This is a guy I never understood it. I mean, three carries, 1 yard. I get like they're not using him much. I really get it. I've always felt like he was going to be productive. I loved him out of Washington. He was wildly productive. When he played with Miami, he was productive. I don't blame you because I know hold on, let me check out the injury. Again, ESPN's not the best, but I think Aaron Jones is not on the IR. Considered week to week. Now he by the way, he's on a bye. So I would hold on to Madison for right now, but I'm gonna level with the Friendly Lace 06. I don't recognize the name, so don't mind hit the subscribe button and give me a thumbs up. I appreciate it. But you have some question marks. I mean, you're switching quarterbacks. You have White, you have Adila. I get it. You're part of it. Madison's not going to win you a championship. Don't get me wrong. I think he's the guy that's most likely to get you the most steady production. Ideally, he's your low-end flex option or a bench running back. But I would keep Madison. You don't have some good options here, but out of these here, I like Madison the best. If you went with Chandler, I wouldn't blame you, but I think Aaron Jones, as long as he's healthy, like he's going to be the main guy. And I have to admit, I've always liked Myles Gaskin. It's just one of these man crushes. I had probably no logic behind it, but I wouldn't recommend it. If you decide that, hey, look, I'm going to go with Chandler, excuse me. Because I don't count on Aaron Jones' health, and he has a chance to be number one guy. I get it. I really do. I wouldn't recommend it, but if you make the move, I wouldn't blame you. I can't pronounce that, but no. Sorry, Dan. Javonte Williams. No, I'm sorry, man. What was the comment here? Oh, Javonte Williams. Ooh, God, he had a decent game too. No, you're not. Javonte Williams might be I like running backs. Now keep in mind you're going against a tough Chargers defense, but he had a pretty productive game last week. I'm always a fan of running backs. Keep in mind if he does well, then your Chargers defense, but Javonte Williams, I don't think scored, but got over 100 total yards, and they were using him more in the passing game. God, man, you got some tough ones there, Dave. I might go with Williams, to be honest with you. I might go with Javonte Williams because you're going to get more touches. Now, keep in mind, with Robinson, you're going against a really bad, beat-up Bengals defense on Sunday night. Always a fun thing. I might go with I might go Javonte Williams here. I mean, you have a tough matchup, but you're at home. That's a tough one, Dave. That's a real tough one. I believe Neighbors will play. That's going to eat some touches. Last week, who's the other guy? Day to day, we'll get work on side practice. That doesn't sound good. I know last week Slayton got a lot of receptions, but Wendell Robinson did get a touchdown. So, man, look, Denver played a tough Raiders defense last week, and Javonte Williams, I'm going to give you the stat line: 13 carries, 61 yards, 5 receptions, 50 yards. That's 18 touches, 111 yards. Wendell Robinson's not going to get that. Now, I mean, you're going against a tough defense off of a bye, but the one thing I want to emphasize is that they're using him a lot more. The last 2 weeks against 2 tough defenses, he's been productive. He just hasn't gotten in the end zone. 2 catches for 3 yards, 16 carries, 77 yards. That's 19 touches and in 80 yards against the Jets, 10-9 win. 18 touches against the Raiders and another win. So, I mean, I'm looking at 18 touches over the last 2 weeks. I think I would go with Javonte Williams, even though the matchup doesn't favor you. Tough Chargers defense. I really would go with Javonte Williams. I mean, you're going to get you're probably going to get an extra 10 touches. And this is a big back. It's just a matter of time before he gets the end zone. Yeah, go with Javonte Williams, man. Got me 6615, man. Welcome, brother, man. I don't recognize you, so make sure you hit that subscribe button. Should I trade Breece Hall and Juwan Jennings for James Conner? No. Juwan Jennings, I think you're looking at, if I'm correctly, it's if I remember correctly, it's the I thought you were talking about the Saints tight end, but that's not who you're talking. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Juwan Jennings, the 49ers receiver, who I predicted, would come back down to earth, 1 catch, 13 yards. Okay. Now I understand. Okay. You're not going to get a lot of production out of Juwan Jennings. Maybe you're a Chiefs fan like myself, love the upside with Worthy. I don't recommend this at all. Let me tell you why. Juwan Jennings is like his production, like you should have got rid of him. You should have got rid of him sooner. I get why you didn't. Okay. Worthy's a guy that's going to have a big week 1 week, then he's going to disappear. You can do that if you want, but the thing is, with Breece Hall, James Conner is going to lose touches to Trey Benson. All right, it's just a matter of time. Breece Hall is still a 3-down player. I don't recommend this. If you're going to move on from Jennings, smart. Worthy's a guy that you have to pick and choose when he comes up, because he's going to have a lot of weeks where he does nothing. He's on a bye this week. Hopefully you know that. Don't give up. I have a hard time. I have a really hard time believing that you could miss Breece Hall. I think you're just taking a loss here with Hall. And by the way, smart to get rid of Juwan Jennings. It's just you might just be better off dropping him and going over to waiver wire. But I would not recommend this. You're taking a massive loss. Connor's production, I think, will go down. Breece Hall, now, full disclosure, I mean, you don't know what's going to go on now with the head coaching switch. Are they going to be more of a passing team? Are they going to be more of a running team? Just my guess. You have a defensive-minded coach who's going to take over for another defensive-minded coach, but Rodgers threw 54 times in a loss. My guess is that the Jets are going to focus more on the running game. Even if they don't, Brees Hall, excellent option in the receiving game. I think you're taking a loss here, but keep in mind, Juwan Jennings, you're not getting anything out of him. I would, if you have the option, is there another receiver besides Worthy he may want? Because the deal is with Worthy, you just have to catch lightning in a bottle. He's never going to be one of those dudes who has like 9 catches, 105 yards, and 2 touchdowns. He's going to be that guy who has 3 catches for 90 yards and a touchdown. He does have a couple rushing touchdowns, which is fun. I would really recommend if you, let's just say you want to move on from Brees Hall and you're just trying to get rid of Jennings, which I also think smart. Can you get another option besides Worthy? What do you think I can get for J2? What's up, brother? What do you think I can get for any combination of Debo, Pickens, McBride, and A-Chain? Oh God. Oh man, Austin, thanks, brother. This is a tough one, man. And the reason why is so I understand you want to move on. Okay. So you have these 4 players and you want to move on. Okay. Number 1, I would not move on from McBride at all. Do not move on from McBride. Keep that dude. With A-Chain, you should have got rid of him sooner. It's tough to say. With Pickens, what was his production last week? He had a good game, man, didn't he? No. This is kind of one of those open-ended questions I would love to dive into a little more. Here's the drill. Okay, Pickens has a lot of potential, so does Debo. I would hold on to McBride. A-Chain, you can't really do much. What you would have to do is that if you're going to move on from Debo and Pickens, I would go after a team that is needing another wide receiver, try to get a running back. Man, I can't really give you a good answer here. But the thing is, though, is that with Debo and Pickens, you got 2 guys with massive upsides. If you're in a bad shape, by the way, you may have to drop me a comment, DM, shoot me an email. I would look at trying to move Debo and Pickens for either a solid number 1, a team that's maybe you got somebody you picked up, Cooper Kupp or Puka Nakata, Rashee Rice, and they need to fill that hole. Then you would get a running back in return, or maybe you can get maybe you can pick up a solid number 1 receiver. But I would kind of look at Debo, Pickens, try to find somebody in your league who had Rashee Rice. You may find somebody in your league who has Neighbors who's scared right now. Hold on to McBride. And with A-Chain, you're in a situation. I have a hard time believing you can get really good value out of A-Chain. You may just want to drop him, but if maybe you can make a move with Debo, Pickens, and A-Chain, and you can get running back and receiver in return. Hold on, McBride. Sorry, I can't give you a better answer. That's just a tough one. But I will say this: hold on, McBride. Braden, what's up, brother? Should I trade Brees Hall and oh no, I already got that one. Hello, Fantasy Football Wednesday. I'm chilling. Key game outside. I'm assuming outside. Is that outside Minnesota? Outside Monday. Smoke a Square, Austin, Texas, your capital. Smoke break. I sub 2. Sweet. That's got to be outside, man, if you're in Austin, man. Austin, Texas. Okay, so I love Texas. I've been back in the day. I was at stationed at Fort Hood for a little bit, Army Reserves, so not active duty. Fort Sam Houston, San Antonio, Fort Hood. Got to check out a little bit of Houston, Waco, Texas. But I've been down to Dallas Fort Worth several times. Never been to Austin. It's on my bucket list. Everybody says the same thing. Everybody says it's phenomenal. Got to go to Austin. Need some people from Texas here. So, yeah, man. Hey, I'm glad to help. Hopefully, it pans out for you. My goal is this year to do everything possible to get you to win your fantasy football league, and I'm going to do everything I can. Do appreciate the subscribe. That's all I ask. Hit the subscribe button. Best thing I could do. Yeah, I there's going to be some weeks that you want to go with Allen. This week is my opinion, a Burrow week between the two. Great job getting both of them. Keep in mind, you also have the potential to trade one of those guys down the line. You could make a big move. I wouldn't do it yet, but after this week, you never know. Nice job getting Bowers. Should I try to get someone else? I also got the Eagles defense. Oh, yeah, good job with the Eagles defense. Could have a massive game fresh off of a bye. Yeah. As far as Bowers at your tight end, keep Bowers as your tight end. As far as getting any, when you say get anybody else, another player, or just tight end, if you got Bowers, I would hold on them as your tight end. If you're talking another tight end, I don't know. Should you try to get anybody else? The thing is that since you got two high-profile players in Burrow and Allen, you have a chance to really do something great with a trade if you need to get rid of Burrow or Allen. I would hold on to both of them as long as you can. Just hold on for the whole season. Keep in mind, Allen got a little banged up against Houston, and Burrow's always had injury issues. But I think Burrow's a must start. I really do. I think he's a must start. There's going to be a few games this year where maybe you want to split that around, but keep them both. LBR the GOAT. I love it. I'm 2-3. We're going to get you turned around, brother. Should I trade DK and Taylor for Mason, Pacheco, and McLaren? Okay, well, Pacheco's not going to play for quite some time. So I don't recommend that. It's a throwaway. By the way, it's a smart move to get a guy like Pacheco. If you have the ability to stash him for a championship. If you have a championship or the playoffs start like week 12, week 10, something early, I advise against it. He's still going to be out probably for 2 months. That's something you got to think about. If your playoffs start like week 14, I'm throwing out a lot of hypotheticals here, but if your playoffs start like week 14 and you're in a 12-person league, top 6, get into the playoffs, Pacheco has some value. But at 2-3, I really want to get you into a win now mode. That's what I would do. Okay. McLaren and DK, you would lose a little bit of value. One thing about DK is that he's in the past, he's always been hot and cold. He's been pretty consistent with the new offense that they have in Seattle, which I like. Another thing about Seattle is they have a lot of defensive injuries. Another thing that I like. McLaren, I think it's a low end too. I think you would take a little bit of a loss. Here's your problem. Mason is a starter, consistent, productive. Jonathan Taylor, much more upside. You don't know what you're getting. Injury issues only. He may not play this week, and that kills you. and that absolutely kills you. I wish I can give you a cookie cutter answer. I can't. Mason would be better for the short term than Taylor, because I by the way, if you tell me Jonathan Taylor is going to play and you're not going to have a problem with him for the rest of the year, do not make this move. He's not practicing today. This is a report from 6 hours ago. That doesn't sound good. Mason, on the other hand, is going to be, pretty semi-consistent for you. I should know, but it's kind of funny. I actually didn't watch that game between Arizona and San Francisco, but I do think shoot. I apologize. You need to know now, because Mason plays on Thursday night. So yeah, you're in a kind of a panic mode. Do you make this move? Do you not make this move? Okay. 14 carries, 89 yards. Not really used in a receiving game, but look, he's had 3 100-yard games. Okay. I mean, the Pacheco injury is just the problem is with the Pacheco injury. It's just he's going to be out for such a long time. The one thing I would say, I'm looking at the numbers for McLaren. The targets are always going to be there. And this is a guy I just absolutely love. It's just that the issue is with DK Metcalf is that the issue's always just been consistency. But this year he's been a lot more consistent than he has in the past. The target, even the targets are inconsistent. 4, 14, 6, 12, 7. I love Jonathan Taylor, man. Shoot. Oh, I'm sorry, man. I already. All right, man, dude. I'm sorry. All right. This is a tough one, and I apologize. I didn't get to this, so I wish I can give you a cookie cutter answer. I really don't have enough information. I'm gonna level with you. If I was you, I need a win this week. I would probably make this move. That said, like, if DK Metcalf blows up, I can't have you mad at me, man. I can't have you mad at me. Pacheco is not going to play for like 2 months. Just throwing that out there. He's not going to play for about 2 months. Sorry, typo with my bench. I typed trade Tucker for Juju. That's what I meant. Drop Juju. Oh, okay. I got you. Yeah. You might have to do that. All right. I have the Broncos D, but Chargers D and Falcons are available. What would you be your go-to for this week? Out of these defenses, I would actually go with the Chargers defense. You're fresh off of a bye and you're going against a rookie quarterback. Now you are going on the road, but so are the Falcons against a bad defense. So I would go with the Chargers defense. If you want to hold on to the Broncos defense, I would not blame you. This week I like the Chargers defense better. I'm sorry I did not get your question in time. Please let me know what happened in your situation, though. There's not a I really kind of need a little more information on your team. Since you since you do need a win, I'm leaning towards it, but I really need a little more information, man. I'm sorry about that, brother. 12-team, no PPR, 2 quarterback. Ooh, oh wow, yes. Oh wow. 2 quarterback league, not a PPR. I have Jackson. I'm assuming Lamar Jackson. Brees Hall, Mason, London, Diggs, Ferguson, Mixon, T. Law. On my bench is Zach Moss, Derek Carr, Kareem Hunt, Christian Kirk, Justin Hill, Rashawn Johnson. Any trades? I am 4-1. Okay. This is oh god. Hey man, I'm okay. By the way, should you sell high on Hunt? That's a smart move. I would hold on to Hunt. But that's not a bad idea because you have Zach Moss, who I like, Mixon, who I also like. Keep in mind, I haven't even looked at Mixon's status as of yet. I like what you're thinking about selling high on Hunt. It's not a PPR league, so Hunt's value is a little lower. And I know he had a lot of carries against the Saints, and I think he will continue to have a lot of carries. But keep in mind, I like your idea of selling high on Hunt. You get CEH coming back, so and your Kansas City's a high passing team. All right. So you have a 2 quarterback lead. You have Lamar Jackson, Trevor Lawrence, and you also have okay. So you have Justin Fields, or no, or Justin Hill. Okay, so you have a 2 quarterback league. God, I really want to dive into this a little more here. I like the idea of selling high on Kareem Hunt. Is there any possibility you could make I'm gonna give you something just absolutely crazy. You may be able to make a home run move. I'm just gonna sound nuts. You might not even want to do this. But here's what I would really strongly consider. You might be able to package Lamar Jackson and Hunt and get a better option at quarterback. I know you're going to say, Dan, why would I do that? Okay, here's why you would want to do that, and I'm going to try my best to get to everybody's questions here. I really am going to try hard to get to everybody's questions. Baltimore's schedule is brutal, okay? And they're going against some really tough defenses. Listen to this. At Tampa Bay, at Cleveland, home against Denver, Bengals, home against Pittsburgh, Chargers, home against Philly, bye week, Giants, Pittsburgh, Houston, Cleveland. Listen, you're not going to be in a better situation to sell Lamar Jackson. Trevor Lawrence, upside. What can you get? I don't know. Should you sell high on Hunt? Yes. The only idea I can think of off the top of my head is that you're in a 2 quarterback league. All right. I only see 2 I'm sorry, you have Derek Carr. Okay. Derek Carr is going to be out for a while. Could you make a move with Derek Carr? Probably not. Could you make a move to sell high on Hunt and Lamar Jackson? Maybe. And I know that sounds absolutely crazy. You're not going to get better time. You have to nail this though. I can't emphasize this. If you do something, by the way, this takes a lot of cojones, and you may be saying, Dan, I'm not going to do that. And I would not blame you. You may be able to hit a home run here. You may be able to hit a home run. Sell high on Hunt, yes. Do you have the ability? I would strongly consider you have to get like massive value because Derek Carr is going to be out for a while. You have to get something massive. I think Burrow is a guy you want to start. You might be able to get somebody like Patrick Mahomes plus. Trust me, you want Patrick Mahomes. By the way, in a 2-quarterback league, I think Lawrence is going to have you can make some moves. I'm just throwing that out there. I would not blame you if you didn't want to do that. But the answer is yes, I would sell high on Hunt. And the reason why I say that is Mixon comes back from injury. Rashawn Johnson, I don't really think will do much, but you have Mason, who's going to be a starter. I think Breece Hall's still going to be productive. So you have 3 good running backs. Sell high on Hunt. I'm going to level with you. If you really want to get nuts, this is the time that you make a move for Lamar Jackson. But you gotta nail this. You got to get somebody. Mahomes. I would make a move even for Burrow. I know I probably sound insane, and I would not blame you if you didn't do this. You could also make a move where you could sell Kareem Hunt. You may be able to get a low-end quarterback. You'd have to get some crazy. You'd have to do something a little crazy here. But Hunt, maybe Carr, and you can get a low-end quarterback. Somebody may want to give you somebody like Bo Nix or something, that guy with some upside. By the way, I mean, with Derek Carr being banged up, I don't know what you want to do. But, man, I'm sorry. God, that's a lot. Stay in touch with me and let me know what I can do. But, yeah, should you sell high on Hunt? Absolutely. With your team, I would, yes. Rye is sexy. I love it. Hey, man, how's it going? What do I do about A-Chain and ETN? They've been poor. Hold on to ETN, move on from A-Chain. You may be able to pick up Jalen Wright, probably a little too late. Tanks Bigsby, probably a little too late. If this is on the table, do it. Cooter McGavin 4-5, that's also great. You also have Bowers. AJ Tube, I'm sorry, man, I've been behind here. You have Bowers. That's it. Ooh. Okay, so I get. Okay, so you want to keep Bowers, you can move McBride. In that situation, I'll be honest with you. You might be able to get more value for Bowers, and you may get more production out of McBride. Bowers is the bigger name. You have some unknown with the quarterback situation there. It's a really weird situation with Michael Mayer. I don't know that the whole thing is some sort of family situation that he's been excused from the team, but when he returns, who knows? I'll be honest with you. I would really consider keeping McBride and trying to move Bowers, because you can sell higher on them. You can get something big because you also have this. I would do this. Can I join your league? I'm looking for one to play with active people. I'm active too. I don't really care about the roster right now. I just want to play. I'm not in a league. It was kind of funny. My goal is to help people win their fantasy football leagues, because I just want to talk football. And my goal, I do a lot of sports betting, to be honest with you, and that's kind of my form of expertise. This year, when I came up with Afternoon Delight, I originally was going to have Denver Gator come on Wednesdays. We were going to talk college football and a little bit of fantasy. Then fantasy football just kind of blew up. My goal is just talk football. I'm not in a league this year, so you might want to consider it, Mike. I would hate for you to drop them, but depending on who's on the waiver wires, you might want to consider it. You might want to consider it. So, oh my God, I got somebody from Brazil. By the way, Mike, before you drop him, reach out to some people in your league and see if you can get a trade. And keep in mind you're selling low. I would really recommend trading, but you may, depending on who's on the waiver wire, you may want to consider dropping him. reach out to some people in your league first and see what kind of a trade you can get. I don't know what your roster is. I apologize. I'm kind of behind on comments, but depending on what holes you have, I'm assuming you have a hole at running back, you may be able to get something in return. And you also may have some waiver wire pickups that might be available, but you might want to consider it. Hold on one second. I want to get to this here. I'm going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be back with more Afternoon Delight. Stay tuned, everybody.
Check out my NFL Week 6 picks video. Drop your picks in the comments, and if you pick more winners than I do, Keaton from Keaton Talk Sports, our special Monday guest, will pay you $1 million. Okay, that isn't true, but post your picks for your favorite team or for all of Week 6. As Afternoon Delight is on a commercial break, we want to remind you that BetUS is a proud affiliate of Dan Talks Football. I made my first $100 deposit and it was fast and easy, but check it out for yourself. The video I made showing my first $100 deposit is in the description below. It's fast, easy, and simple, but judge for yourself how easy it is. Link is in the description below.
All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me. I'm behind on comments. I'm going to do my best to answer every and all questions before the show's over. 2 hours in the book, one left. You might want to consider it, Mike. Try to make some moves. Scan the waiver wire, but don't be afraid to drop them. Don't be afraid to drop them and pick somebody up. So I'm tickled pink, man. I got my buddy Perry, who I haven't seen yet in the chat. He's from Canada. Sizu's from Germany, and now I got somebody from Brazil. This is awesome. There are some leagues I know in ESPN you might be able to join. Denver Gator, I did not know this. Wow. Sober Money. Welcome, brother. What a great name. Okay. Keep it. Okay, so scan the waiver wire, make some moves, but I don't agree with that. Mozart's going to be the main guy, and Jalen Wright's playing really well. I think they're going to kind of phase him out. So seriously, you might want to consider moving on from him. I mean, he may not play this week, and they're phasing him out of that offense. I love the kid. Don't get me wrong, but Jalen Wright's doing everything that he can do, and he's a lot bigger. And then they have Mozart coming back. So I would strongly consider scanning the waiver wire and seeing, or just maybe moving on. Mike, by the way, let's just say that yeah, I mean, I understand, but here's what I'm saying, Mike. This is never going to be a show where I'm always right, and if you disagree with me, you're wrong. This is never going to be that. I would strongly consider moving on from him. But if you're one of these guys that you think he's going to be great and do that 30 touches, yeah, hold on to him. But when you message me, you're like, Dan, God, I'm and I'm like, listen, you may just have to move on. If you think he's going to be great when he comes back, keep him. By all means, keep him. But I would scan the waiver wire, and I would also make some inquiries, because if you think he's going to be great, somebody else in your league is going to think that. You may be able to make a trade. If you keep him, more power to you, brother. I'm just saying, look, I mean, you got Raheem Mostert's coming back. Wright's been wildly productive, man. And he's a much bigger dude. The only issue with him coming out of college, he put the ball on the turf, and he hasn't done that in Miami. But, yeah, you may want to consider it. I wouldn't listen. Don't hold on to assets that are not producing. See what's available out there. But if you firmly believe that he's going to come back, and yeah, I know I'm fully aware that he did that. But you had Mozart out, and this is before Jalen Wright took over. Jalen Wright's looked really good, but I mean, I want to, Mike. I would rather you not take my advice and win, but I would take a look around. I really would take a look around, see what you can get. So, Sober Money. I'm in a dynasty rebuild PPR. Oh, this is fun. This is fun. Oh wow, God. Okay. I got sent this offer. Mooney, Reed, Lloyd, 2026, first 2027, second for Gibbs, Evans, Diggs. I get the money side. I'm drawing a blank on Lloyd. I'm drawing a complete blank on Lloyd. Oh, Marshawn Lloyd. Oh, I love this guy coming out of college. He's done nothing so far, but that's a lot of fun. Okay. All right. Okay. So hold on. I want to make sure I have this correct here because I want to make sure I'm not missing anything. You get Mooney, Reed, Lloyd, a 2026 first. Oh no. All right. I'm sorry. I'm having a hard time wrapping around this. Okay. Mooney, Reed, Lloyd, 2026 first, 2027 second for Gibbs, Evans, and I'm sorry, for Gibbs, Evans, and Diggs. Okay, so you're getting a 2026 first, 2027 second. Okay. So let's just ignore the picks for right now. All right, so let's go Diggs and Mooney. Diggs gets more value, Mooney much more upside. All right, Reed's interesting, much more upside. I mean, given Evans, you're giving away points, but you're doing a dynasty rebuild, so I get it. Mooney for Lloyd for Gibbs. See, you know what? I'm really liking this trade, and I'll tell you why I like it. I mean, it's funny because I know he hasn't done a damn thing, but I just really love this kid coming out of the U.S. For those of you who don't know, Marshawn Lloyd, I like shorter running backs who are powerful, and he also has good speed. And this is a guy who I think could have a lot of potential in Green Bay's system. If Josh Jacobs goes down and Lloyd gets a chance, like he could blow up. Like you're kind of rolling the dice. All three of these guys are guys that you're just really rolling the dice on. I mean, you're rolling the dice on all three of these guys, but you are getting the 2026 first and the 2027 second. Okay. I have never been in a dynasty rebuild league. I've never done that, so I don't know how the trades work. But I love the idea of getting a first in, and I'm assuming you get your standard picks and then you get additional first. And I also absolutely love the fact that you get a guy in Lloyd. You could have massive upside. Because here's the deal with Mooney and Reed. You have two guys, massive potential. With Evans and Diggs, their best days are way behind them. I mean, they're productive this year. Gibbs is the guy who's wildly productive, but I really think that it should be just the opposite. Look, I would do this, okay? Full disclosure, I would do this keep in mind that I've never done a dynasty rebuild league, which it sounds like a lot of fun. Like I'm super geeked out about this right now. I mean, keep in mind your potential for this year drops a little bit, even though Mooney and Reed could be really, really well. Lloyd's a guy with unlimited potential. I love this kid. And I also think he's going to the right spot. Like I really like that draft selection. But here's what I love is that you're getting multiple draft picks, and there's a chance, forget the draft picks, there's a chance like next year this looks like a no-brainer. Yeah, I would do it. I'm assuming you already have a 2026 first, and you're stockpiling draft picks because you can get creative here. Full disclosure, Sober Money. Only reason I do this is because I know he's not playing now, but I love Marshawn Lloyd, and I think that there's a chance that once he gets on the field, like full time, and it could happen sooner than later. Like he could do everything Jacobs can do, and he might be better. Like that's all. And just full disclosure, and I love Josh Jacobs. I'm not an anti-Jacobs guy, but the one thing about Jacobs, he's never been a home run threat. I think Lloyd's got a little more speed. They're very similar build. If you look at just the measurements, they're very similar. With Jalen Reed, I originally thought coming out of college he was going to be like a receiver returner. It looks like he's much more than that. And keep in mind with Mooney, you have to get, like they got to fix everything in Atlanta. It can't just be a flash in the pan. But yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. I really do. Keep in mind, I mainly like it because you get the extra draft picks. I mean, because you're getting three guys with massive upsides. Full disclosure, I've never done a dynasty rebuild, so I'm geeked out. Sober Money, please stay in touch with me. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. If you haven't already, stay in touch with me. Please let me know how things work. Let me know if you do the trade, and let me know how everything works. And make the move, get the draft capital, and in your case, hope that Lloyd starts playing more, because when he does, oh my God, you could be thanking me. This is awesome. I got ESPN turned on, and I'm looking at this. This is just, yeah. For those of you wondering if you should pick him up, yeah, pick him up. Pick him up. I was offered by John for Neighbors. What do you think, South Texas 49er? Man, that's a tough one. Okay, I need a little more information. Off the top of my head, I'm going to tell you yes. And the reason why I want to tell you yes is that I always like a 3-down running back over a receiver. The head injury that takes him out of a couple weeks potentially really bothers me, because I thought he had the concussion on Thursday. I thought he did. Head injuries are weird. I mean, I'm not a doctor. It seemed like the way that they were handling it and his reaction is that he was going to play because it was a Thursday game. You come back, you got, those additional days. If you got a head injury on Thursday and next Sunday you can't play, that bothers me. He's still questionable. That also bothers me. John Robinson's a 3-down back. If you're hurting at the receiver position, don't do it. Because you have to understand, if he plays Sunday against a bad Bengals defense, you're going to hate me. But I think the John Robinson against that Carolina Panthers defense, after watching Carolina give up, or watching if I'm Carolina, I'm looking at Atlanta going, okay, well, we have to stop the passing game. This is the game John Robinson, I think, has a massive game against a bad Panthers defense. So I really want you to get John Robinson for this week. I need a little more information on your roster. Off the top of my head, though, yeah, I would make this move. By the way, Mike, I've seen you before in the comments, Mayor. I hope I didn't lose your patronage, or I hope you didn't unsubscribe and hate me forever. I just seriously, you may want to move on from the guy. I think I beat that enough up. Lauren Foley, oh God. I have no idea if you're a guy or there was a girl I used to work with named Lauren. Everybody had a crush on. She had you probably don't get the reference. She had these Lisa Loeb glasses on. She lived in my apartment complex. She had 2 kids or a boyfriend. I don't date single moms, but like greatest person. Well, I gave her a ride home from work a couple times. Car ride. Anyway, sorry. Super jacked up. They start 3. Ayuk, DK, Montgomery, and Godwin. All right. Oh, that's a good one. Okay, so, I mean, look, full disclosure, they're using Gibbs more than they're using Montgomery. I always think that you want to go with a running back over a receiver. Okay. Thursday night games, primetime games are hard to turn down, but Ayuk or DK, there's a lot of injuries on that Seattle defense. Even if they do come back and play, they still have some injuries, so I would go Ayuk over DK. The question is, do you want to go with DK or do you want to go with Godwin? That would be my debate. And with Godwin, you're going against a tough Saints defense, and you're going on the road. All right. I mean, Godwin, in my opinion, has a much higher floor. DK has a much higher ceiling. I'm leaning towards Ayuk, DK, and Montgomery, to be honest with you. Okay. And the reason why I would do that is because I think that I think that you want to go with Montgomery, even though they're leaning towards Gibbs, he's still going to get the most touches. He's still going to get the most touches. I would still go with Ayuk, who I think will get the most touches. And I honestly, DK's probably got the highest potential. I mean that size speed potential is crazy. But if you want to play it a little more safe, then you may want to go with Godwin. So start 3, Marvin Harrison Jr., DJ Moore, Brian Thomas, and Darnell Mooney. This is a good one, man. This is a good one. Okay, so it's a tough matchup in London. All right, a tough matchup in London, but it looks like Brian Thomas Jr. is becoming the number 1 guy. I really want to go with him. There's some problems in Jacksonville. Now, Eddie, I'm assuming I don't recognize the name. Hit the subscribe button. I have a weekly picks video. Full disclosure, I have the Jags in an upset. Just they play in London a lot, but DJ Moore against a bad Jags secondary, I would really like. Here's what that. So those would be the 2. The question would be Marvin Harrison Jr. or Mooney. I'd lean Mooney against a bad Panthers defense. I'm not sold on Green Bay's defense either. So, God, that that's a tough one. Do you want to go with Mooney or you want to go with Marvin Harrison Jr.? I mean, look, same thing. Like I said before, you get more upside with Marvin Harrison Jr. I'll be honest with you, after the game he had last week and with Marvin Harrison Jr. just kind of being up and down, that'd be on you. It's hard to turn down a guy with Marvin Harrison Jr.'s upside, but I mean, let's take a look at production. By the way, I'm not sold on Green Bay's defense. I know a lot of people feel like Green Bay has this, great defense because of all the interceptions. But I mean, last week 2 for 36. The week before that 5 for 45. He does have 4 touchdowns. You get more upside with Marvin Harrison Jr. I'll be honest, man, I'm kind of leaning towards Mooney, even though you may have heard me say that, you want to start with John Robinson because if I'm Carolina, I'm trying to stop that passing attack. But I wouldn't blame. I mean, this is a tough one. I really hate to say it, but I would probably go DJ Moore, Brian Thomas, and Mooney. But Mike, I'm just offering you my opinion. And the one thing is, if you didn't watch the game, Jalen Wright looked really good against a very good Patriots defense, and he's a much bigger dude. I mean, the size matters. And you're right. I mean, I'm not telling you you're wrong, but I mean, what was the first comment that you said? I mean, I want to make sure I answer everybody. But what was the first thing? You're like, man, A-Chain really bothering me. He's got concussion. Mozart's coming. Well, you didn't say that. You're like, A-Chain really bothered me. I'm like, man, you got Mozart coming back. Wright looked really good when he did play. No, he doesn't. A-Chain's a guy that he can get 5 to 10 touches a game and get that 40, 50-yard burst. I get that. I'm just telling you right now, Wright looked really good. He's a much bigger running back. Much bigger. Mozart's the number 1 guy. He's going to be the number 1 guy. If you don't think that Miami watched what Wright did and was like, yeah, we're going to get him more touches, I don't know what to tell you. If you think Wright's just going to go back to the bench and not see any more of the field after he played really well and he's a much bigger back, I don't know what to tell you. Here's what I am telling you. If you feel this way, somebody else feels that way. He has some value. You may want to move on. If you keep him, my goal, Mike, is I would rather you not take my advice and win than take my advice and lose. If you want to keep them, great. I would look around. If there's somebody on the waiver wire that you can pick up that can be more productive, I would make that move. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, Mike, I'm here to help, man. And there's people in the chat. If you love the dude, you want to keep him, great. I'm just telling you, I watched that game. Jalen Wright looked really, really good, and he's a much bigger back. Mozart's going to be option number 1 going forward. And Wright's going to eat into some of his touches. But I mean, he's a fun dude to watch. I mean, I'm 5'8", like 160, so I love guys. I'm 160, 170, somewhere in there. But yeah. So I mean, I love smaller guys with home run speed, but what's bigger, what's better than a small guy with home run speed? A bigger guy with home run speed, and that's what you have with Wright. So, by the way, like, there is a reason they traded up to get this kid. So, Mr. Grapefruit, welcome back, brother. Would you trade Chase Brown for Zay Flowers if you know you can get down? The guy asked me about the running back in an email today. That's a good one. Zay Flowers, I think, will be used a little more in the offense going forward. That's just my opinion. Would I trade Chase Brown for him? That's interesting because I think Zach Moss should be the number one guy. I really do. I think he should be the number one guy. But I mean, we have to find out. I kind of like Chase Brown in this matchup this week better. Are you really hurting on receivers? That would be another question. It's a PPR league. You got some good running backs. You like Mozart. I ranted about Mozart. Rashawn and Harris. Yeah, God, you got Nico. Oh, you don't have an IR. Oh, God, yeah, because you got Brandon Ayuk. Oh, yeah. Your situation, yes. Your situation, yeah, because I'm not banking on Worthy, and I'm a Chiefs fan. The issue I have with this is, oh, God, that I think Chase could have a good game. Mozart's on a bye. Rashawn Johnson, I honestly don't know how much he's going to play. And I really don't know how much he's going to play. And then Harris, I'm just drawing a blank. Are you talking Marvin Harrison Jr.? I'm drawing a blank on Harris. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, man. I'm drawing a complete blank on Harris. But yeah, I mean, you want to keep Nico. I would, I mean, thanks, man. I appreciate it, brother. Yeah, God. I mean, you got Ayuk and you got more. I wouldn't bank on Worthy. I mean, in your situation, I'm drawing a blank on Harris, man. I'm so sorry. Rashawn Johnson, I don't know how much he's going to play. Mozart's on a bye. So, I mean, this, to be honest with you, I'm sitting here. I'm looking at this. I'm missing something because you got a problem because you have I'm trying to figure out who's playing in your flex because Mozart's going to buy, Worthy's on a buy. I'm drawing a blank on Harris for whatever reason. I apologize because I don't want you to play Rashawn Johnson, but you might have to. In your league, yeah, you need to pick somebody up. But man, here's the deal. I could see a situation where Brown has a good game. So God, I wish I know. Is it Marvin Harrison Jr.? I'm glad I made you laugh, man. I appreciate it. Hey, how'd you rate this lineup? Prescott, nice. Zay Flowers and Amon-Ra St. Brown. I love Amon-Ra. Derrick Henry, Tanks Bigsby. If Etienne is out or really hurt and he did the majority of carries, tough matchup this week, but overall I like it. Derrick Henry, I can make a case as NFL MVP. Eagles defense may put you up a lot of points today. Aubrey, Cowboys kicker, probably going to have a big game. And Bowers. This is a good lineup, man. You commented earlier. I would give this like a B, maybe B plus. Prescott and Amon-Ra, world class. Derrick Henry, world class as long as he's healthy. He can't do like 25 touches every week. Might be my NFL MVP. I like Bowers right now. This week, the Eagles defense may do something ridiculous. So, yeah, BB plus. Not high on Flowers. Bigsby is ideally the number 2 guy in Jacksonville. Yeah. My whole league is terrible. I'm horrible for trading away Kelsey for ETN. Are we sure it's a good idea? Listen, okay. Even if he's banged up, you have a 3-down running back against a 35-year-old tight end. I share a birthday with Travis Kelce. I've been a Chiefs fan. I have a video if you want to look. I think it's in the top 10 playlist, top 10 tight ends of all time. Travis Kelce's number one. There is not 10 players in NFL history I love more than Travis Kelce. And I'm telling you right now, this is a smart move. You got 3 down running back. Didn't you have another tight end on your league? So, yeah, I'm sure it's a good idea. I had Jalen right. Yeah, I get it. And you're right. You're right. I think Mossard's getting old. I was thinking the same thing. Oh, okay. I think it's just a matter of time, Mike. I really think it's just a matter of time that he's going to be a Jet. I really think it's a matter of time for he's going to be a Jet. Two tight ends, that's interesting. Kraft could have a big game. Pitts could always have a big game. It drives me nuts. So, Najee Harris, okay. Najee Harris. God, I am, wow. Pop the energy drink. That's embarrassing. I am so embarrassed. It's like one of my favorite dudes. Gooch is a big Alabama fan. I hope he's not watching that. I'm embarrassing. I'm going to take a swig of this energy drink. Jesus Christ. I'll tell you the players I love. On Prescott and Amon-Ra St. Brown. You should put up a lot of points with these two. I'm not buying Washington's defense being good. A-, B+ on Derrick Henry. Zay Flowers, that secondary, I don't care that they're winning. I'm not sold on it. So I mean, Zay Flowers, I'm giving you like a C+, but he could be a guy. This could be the week he has like 7 catches, 105 yards, and 2 touchdowns. The news is that Travis Etienne Jr. limited participant in practice. Bears defense is tough. You're hoping in this situation that he's either not going to play. Dick thing to do, I know, but in your situation, you don't want to play. Bears have a tough defense, but even with the tough defense, you still could go ahead and get a touchdown. Solid. I mean, Flowers and Bigsby, I would give you kind of like a C+. But I mean, an Eagles defense fresh off of a bye against a Browns offense that just there's nothing that looks good there. And I'm in Aubrey, he's Cowboys kicker, if I remember correctly. I need to get these tight ends. I need to get these kickers' names memorized, and I apologize. Yeah, I was right. If you haven't yet, check out my video, week 6 picks video. But I'm predicting a massive shootout in Dallas. I've been adamant about the Detroit's defense not being very good, and I love their offense, but you don't know. I mean, seriously, I predicted 34-32. It could be something like that, and even if you don't get field goals, you're going to get a couple extra points. So solid. Bowers wildly productive. Steelers defense is really good. It wouldn't surprise me if they just do everything possible to take away Bowers. For this week, I'd say it's a B to a B+. Yeah. Gibbs or AJ Brown? That's a good one. I listen, I'm gonna level with you. I love AJ Brown. Like, I have a major man crush on AJ Brown. I'm looking at the injury report. He's not even on it. The Browns defense is solid. Devontae Smith is on the injury report, full participant in practice. That's a good thing for if you like Devontae Smith. They're using Gibbs more than Montgomery. And I think they should flip it. For this week only, I would go with Gibbs. Long term, I would go AJ Brown, because I think that this week, I don't get me wrong, he could have a big game against a really good Browns defense, but it's a bad team. I mean, I could still see Brown getting a touchdown or getting 100 yards in this game, even though I have a lot of confidence in the Browns defense. After this week, I might lean towards Brown, but they're using Gibbs more than they're using Gibbs more than they're using Montgomery. I stand by it. The one thing I will tell you is that even though he's a 3-down back, and I like using 3-down backs more than receivers, I'm assuming you're in a PPR league. If you're not in a PPR league, you may want to go with Brown, and I say that because I think Gibbs' value in a PPR league would be higher. After this week, I would probably go with Brown, because getting him back into the offense, you're going to be throwing the ball. He's the number one receiver. So, oh God, yeah. If you Jonathan Taylor, it doesn't look like he's going to, but yeah. I'm almost curious if I could see a situation where they put Joey Porter Jr. and a linebacker on him, but I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm kind of looking forward to this game. Now, keep in mind, I just purchased a Sunday ticket. I had so much fun last week. I watched almost every single game. There was only 3 or 4 games I didn't watch. I really want to watch Detroit and Dallas. I have a lot of Lions fans in here, so I'm going to do everything I can to watch as much Lions football. Lions Dallas is going to be a lot of fun, but I really want to see Pittsburgh Vegas. But Aiden O'Connell's going to get the start. I don't really know what to expect. That would be my first option, but you may see something different. I don't know. I mean, I'll tell you this, though. If I was the Raiders, I would do everything possible to get Bowers as much touches as I can. That's what I would do. So, yeah, exactly, and smart by doing that, and yeah, exactly. God, that's a tough one, man. So Austin asked, would I go Chase Brown instead of Bigsby this week? God, that's a really tough question, and it all comes down to Travis Etienne's health. If you told me Travis Etienne was 100%, I go with Chase Brown. If you tell me that he's not going to play, then you go with Bigsby. I do think this is a situation where Chase, look, you got 2 really good defenses, but the difference is Chase Brown's more of a receiver, home run threat. Bigsby's a bigger dude. I think Bigsby's more likely to score a touchdown. Brown's more likely to catch passes, more of a big play threat. I like Cincinnati's offense better. I like Jacksonville's, even though Jacksonville put up a bunch of points against a bad Colts defense. I wouldn't be able to give you a straight answer. Here's what I would do. Let me ask you that. I think you said this here. I want to make sure I answer all the questions. So, I think you put your roster in here. Okay, so you don't have you have Bigsby on your roster, but you're thinking that you can. Am I correct? You just drop Bigsby and pick up Brown. Is that correct? Um, that's a risky proposition because in Zach Moss, you have a bigger guy who I think they should use as the number one. That's just me. Bigsby is the bigger guy who's only getting playing time because Etienne's banged up. So I mean that's a really tough situation that you're in. Now you already have a big running back in Derrick Henry, and I know it's kind of silly because it's fantasy football, not regular football. If it was an NFL team, I would want a bigger running back and home run threat. The one thing is, though, is that with the way your lineup set up, you're definitely getting points with Prescott. You're definitely getting points with Amon-Ra. You're rolling the dice on the Zay Flowers potential. You're going to get some points at Derrick Henry. I mean, is this going to be one of those weeks where he gets 25 touches, or does he get 20? Bowers ideally has a good week. So, like the way that this lineup set up, I might want to go with Brown because you have a lot of players on your team I feel very confident on. They're definitely getting points. Chase Brown's kind of a boomer bust. Ticky-tacky thing, too. Personal preference only. I live in Vegas. This game's going to happen at 6:30 in the morning. The Jaguars game. All right. Chase Brown plays on Sunday night. It's always a little more fun for me to have a guy be on Sunday night, prime time. You also have a lot of guys on your team that are, guaranteed to get you some points. So in a situation like you're in, I might lean towards Brown. Do you want to drop him and pick him up? That's up to you. I will tell you this. If Etienne doesn't play, you're really going to be mad about Bigsby. So if you're in a situation where you have to wait, if you're in a situation where you can wait, that's what I would do. If you're in a situation where you got to make a move now, or you feel like somebody's going to pick up Chase Brown, you can do it. I think he is the better matchup this week only. If Etienne doesn't go, you're really going to hate it. I'm sorry I couldn't give you a better answer, but I will say this week, you have some guys that are definitely putting up points. So going with some guys that have potential and that have high potential on the low floor, that's smart. Yeah. And I'm a full disclosure, I think Etienne will play. I don't think Taylor is. So, in your situation, maybe you want to go with Chase Brown and just drop Bigsby. I'm assuming that's what you have to do. If you have an extra spot, pick up Brown and play him this week. I would start Kraft. There's nobody with more upside than Kyle Pitts. They just don't use him, and I have no idea why. You got in Kraft. I think that he's kind of taken. It's kind of funny because they drafted Tyler Kraft in the 3rd round, Luke Musgrave in the 2nd, but Kraft's just taken over. Now Kraft played, I think it was South Dakota State, maybe it was North Dakota State. He went to a smaller school. Musgrave would have been a 1st round pick out of Oregon State. He just messed up his knee. It was like late. I think he tore his ACL like halfway through the season or something like that. But they like Kraft. I would go with Kraft. I'm sorry. I didn't read that. Over Bowers. God, man. By the way, great job getting 3 tight. You own Bowers and Kraft. I'll be honest, out of those 3, I'm sorry. Here, I'm going to make sure I answer all my questions. Out of these 3, Even though there's some uncertainty with the Raiders, and if I was Pittsburgh, I would do everything I can to take Bowers out. I would probably lean Bowers. And the reason why is I really think out of those three, he's more likely to get the most targets. Even though if I was Pittsburgh, I would double and triple team Bowers and force Jacoby Myers in the running game to beat you with the rookie with the backup quarterback. If you went with Kraft or Pitts, I would not blame you. Those are three really good options. I like Kraft. I think Kraft could have a good game. Pitts can always have a good game. They just don't use them. I have no idea why. I would roll with Bowers, though. That's just my personal opinion. If you switch it up, I would not blame you one bit because you are going with a new quarterback. You're going against a brutal Pittsburgh defense, and your best player just is basically quit on the team. I wouldn't blame you if you made a move, but I mean, look, who's most likely to get the most targets? It's probably Bowers, so I would go there. That's a tough one, man. Cooter McGavin 45. Should I trade James Conner for Gibbs? Great question. I mean, I need a little more information, but just shoot off top. Yes. Gibbs a better receiving target. I'm assuming you're in a PPR. If you're not in a PPR, you probably want to go with Conner, but in a PPR, go with Gibbs. Gibbs a home run threat. Conner's not. Gibbs is going to get more receptions, and they're using Gibbs more. I firmly believe that Trey Benson's going to take some touches away from Conner. That's just the way I look at Arizona. I don't have a lot of confidence in Green Bay's defense, even though they've been playing well. I do think Conner could have a big game. Gibbs could have a massive game in Dallas, and I do predict it's going to be a shootout in Dallas. Keep in mind, if you're not in a PPR league, Conner's probably pure rushing. And Conner is the number one guy. I just firmly believe that Trey Benson's just going to eat more and more and more touches because he's a big back. He's much faster. That's just my opinion. With Gibbs, he's getting more touches than Montgomery. But should I trade Conner for Gibbs? Yeah. I'll be honest with you. Oh, okay. You switched it over here. I also have Kittle and Kraft. Should I try to trade Kraft this week? That's a good one. But I'm assuming this is the same person. If you're in a PPR league, absolutely. Keep in mind, I think Montgomery should get more touches through using Gibbs more. But if you're in a PPR league, I would make this move. If it's standard league, which is becoming not the norm, then no. Travis Etienne and Keon Coleman for Kareem Hunt and Jordan Addison. Thoughts? That's interesting. All right, so first off, Apple Cod. I love it. By the way, if you haven't yet, give me the thumbs up and make sure you hit that subscribe button. Because I don't recognize the name. It's a cool name. I'm a Chiefs fan. I'm a long-time Chiefs fan. You do know Kareem Hunt's on the bye. Travis Etienne's banged up, but the thing is, Travis Etienne is a three-down back with home run speed. I can make arguments for that. Addison is definitely the guy you want to take over Keon Coleman. I would make this move. I'm assuming you're trading Etienne and Coleman for Kareem Hunt and Jordan Addison. If you have Hunt and Addison, I would hold on. Do keep in mind that Kareem Hunt, I believe, isn't Minnesota on the bye too? Yeah, Kareem Hunt and Jordan Addison are on byes. Just I'm assuming you knew that, but yeah. if you can deal with not having either one of these guys on your team, I would do it, because Kareem Hunt's going to be the main guy in Kansas City going forward. Jordan Addison's very solid too, and Sam Darnold can play. He's going to play. Is he going to be an MVP candidate? I wish I could tell you yes, but he had 10 touchdowns as a rookie with 5 different quarterbacks. So yeah, I would make this move. Keep in mind, Kareem Hunt's not a home run guy, but he may be more valuable in a PPR league. He's going to catch passes, and he's more likely to score touchdowns to ETN because he's a bigger dude. So they are bringing CEH back. That has some things to do with it, but Jordan Addison is an easy win where I can make arguments for ETN and Hunt. I'm assuming you have ETN and Coleman, by the way. So, by the way, Hunt and Addison are on buys. Let me know what you do. Trade Kraft, Ridge Air before he saw. Should I trade James Conner for Gibbs? Okay, yeah, we talked about that. I assumed you're this guy. Should I try and trade Kraft this week? This is pretty smart, and Apple Cod kind of nailed it, because what you're doing is with Kraft is you're selling high. Now there's a lot of options, a lot of weapons, but Kittle's got to be the guy you want to go for. Keep in mind with Kittle, you're always going to have some injury issues. You're always going to have some injury issues when it comes to Kittle. And that's another thing. But can you get good value for Kraft? Yeah, I mean, now's kind of the time to strike. And they do have another option in Musgrave. They have a couple of receivers. This is one of those situations where you're selling high. Get good value. Like don't trade them for somebody sitting on your bench. Like, get a starter. But if you have the ability to, yeah. By the way, I do think Kraft could have a huge game this week. San Francisco against Seattle. He's on an injury report. By the way, with the defensive problems that they're having in Seattle, like, Kittle could have a monster game. So yeah, you may be able to get something good out of Kraft, and this would be a good chance. So if I trade for AJ Brown for Gibbs and flip it for Evans, Gibbs for CD, is that smart, or am I losing too much for a minor upgrade? Okay. Wow, I have to end the show here in just a few minutes, and I want to make sure. Okay, I want to make sure I get through everything. Pacheco coming back in a few months. You made the trade, nice. Okay, okay, yeah, it's PPR, and I like Gibbs too, especially in the PPR. I don't know what that means, but I like it. Banged up shoulder. I don't know. I think he is going to play. I just think he's going to be limited. They're going to give Bigsby some touches. So, yeah, Chase Brown too. Yeah. Oh, good. Then don't drop anybody. Start Brown. All right. I got to wrap up here in just a few minutes. I'm going to try to get everybody. Okay. So here's what you would do. You trade for AJ Brown. You trade for AJ Brown. You give up Gibbs for AJ Brown. All right. You flip it. Okay, I misread. Okay, so you give up AJ Brown, which I would not suggest. You get Gibbs, flip it for Evans and Gibbs for CD Lamb, and then okay. So all right, so basically AJ Brown for CD Lamb. I'll be honest with you. I love AJ Brown. I mean, I really do. And you're in a pass heavy offense in Philly. But if you can move AJ Brown, okay, hold on. So if you can move AJ Brown, but you have to give up Evans as well, but you get CD Lamb in return, that's a tough one because you're giving up a 1 and a 2 to upgrade 1. I can't answer that. And the reason why is because CD Lamb, I mean, there's really almost nobody receiver-wise I want to give up for CD Lamb. But if you have AJ Brown and you have Evans, when AJ Brown comes back, he's a 1, and Evans is always going to be a 2. If you're loaded at receiver, maybe you make this move, but I mean, I need a little more information. I only got a few minutes left. I got to wrap up, so I wish I could give you a yes or no answer. I can't. You are making an upgrade. That's the thing. But I mean, if you're playing Evans and you're going to play Brown, like I'm looking at 2 for 1, and I wouldn't like that. If Evans is on your bench and you're not using him, which I would find kind of hard to believe, get CD Lamb. But I mean, yeah. If you, by the way, I'm glad your answer. I'm here to help, but I mean, here's your deal. AJ Brown, if you're not aware, AJ Brown's just been banged up. Like this is a stud. And Evans is a guy that I have a hard time believing that you're not using Evans at all. You might have to put a comment in here. I might have to get back to you. I need a little more information on your roster, but I'm recommending against this because it looks like you're giving up AJ Brown and Evans for CD Lamb, and it's a 2 for 1 trade, and it looks like you got 2 guys that should be starting, so you can upgrade on 1. Trade for AJ. Okay, trade AJ Brown for now. So I want to improve my wide receiver. I already have Derrick Henry. God, I have a hard time always moving Jonathan Taylor, but the issue is that there's always a health issue. There's a health issue with Derrick Henry. It also, I mean, you have to realize he's taken a lot of punishments early in the season. He's over 30. That said, there's no ceiling on how good AJ Brown could be. So if you can move, if you have Jonathan Taylor and you can move Jonathan Taylor for AJ Brown, I want to answer all the questions. You need to have another running back or 2 on your roster. I really want to go over this in a little more detail. I want to gut bang, shoot from the hip, yes, because AJ Brown's going to be a 1. Because I know that you're trying to start Flowers, so Brown's a massive upgrade. Giving up a legit number 1 running back in Jonathan Taylor, even though he's banged up, I would need a little more information. You don't have to make the move now. I'm hoping, because I really got to wrap up the show. But Austin, I do want to hear back from you. If you need an answer tonight, DM me, comment, email. I want to get the rest of these questions for end the show. What side wins this trade? Half. God, God, I wish I would have got this earlier. Untamed Music. I hope to hear back from you. Cool name. Like the thumbnail. Half PPR, Gibbs, Darnold, Dell, Johnston for Marvin, Najee, Baker, Andrews. Okay. Huge Quentin Johnston fan. But I mean, I'm just going to go player for player. Okay. Let's do this here. Darnold and Baker, pretty much a push. I'm not going to lie to you, leaning towards Baker. Andrews just not playing at all. Johnson not playing at all. So the Johnson side would win there. Dell's a real question mark. Marvin Harrison Jr. upside. Najee Harris I would take over Gibbs. Andrews is not being used at all, but I would still say Marvin, Najee, Baker, Andrews barely. It's just Andrews. It breaks my heart. Andrews is almost irrelevant. You can't play him. You can't play him. Baker and Darnold, I can argue both ways. Najee over Gibbs definitely, and Marvin's upside over Dell. So even though Andrews is a throwaway, I would say Marvin, Najee, very Baker and Andrews. All right, sweet. I like Gibbs too. Okay. Be like 2 months. Should I trade Michael Wilson for Trey Benson in Dynasty? I have lots of receivers. Yes. Trey Benson, unlimited potential K9. Great question. I got to move on. Aaron Jones, he's on a bye. He should come back next week healthy. Great. Oh, yeah, we were talking about running backs. God. Oh, yes. Okay. Make the move. Yes, I didn't know you had Aaron Jones. Yes, make that move then. Pittman or Wendell Robinson. If Joe Flacco starts, Pittman. If Anthony Richards starts, Robinson. Keep in mind you're also eyeballing Neighbors. If you have Neighbors comes back, Neighbors starts, right? Or Anthony Richardson starts. I still would go with Robinson. Flacco starts, no matter what, go with Pittman. Keep in mind, matchup favors Wendell Robinson. That's a real tough one. You have to keep an eye out. If Flacco's the starting quarterback, you have to go Pittman. And that's all I have. Guys, if I didn't get your question or I didn't answer it enough, drop a comment below. I will get back to you tonight. You can also DM me on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, Instagram, or you can go old school. Shoot me an email, dantalksfootball@yahoo.com. You also put a comment on the YouTube video. I will get back to it tonight. However, tomorrow is Fantasy Football Thursday. I will be back for 3 more hours of fantasy talk. All your questions are answered. If I didn't go into enough detail, I'll go into more detail tomorrow. I hope you all come back tomorrow. Have a great night, and I'll see you all tomorrow.